All right, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. It's funny, right as the stream actually started, my game crashed, but it's okay. We actually have a little bit of time. We can look through the brackets here while we get everything going once again. So this is the ECL preseason. So technically, this isn't a qualifier. Granted, if circumstances do, kind of make for it, this could potentially be treated as a qualifier depending on my schedule and how things go. But typically, I wanted this to be a practice tournament, basically, with a prize pool, mind you, that players could get used to some of the new content, the mass changes, all that sort of good stuff before we get into the Big Monty tournament. So, and more tournaments, right? If it's a preseason, we get 8 more qualifiers. It's a win for everyone. So, as far as the tournament goes, we are going to be streaming the top 4. Currently, we have Tesla facing off against Prussian Prince. That's going to be our first match. And then on the top side of the bracket, we have Kark facing off against Guac. And then, of course, we saw Guac in the Everchosen. We have Anticity facing off against Void Laws. So, yeah, this is going to be the whole tournament. You can see we've had some really good matches across the board. Some pretty crazy upsets, actually. Here in the very beginning of the tournament, we had a Dactor of Clan XMT. He actually had a 2-0 victory over Fistek, who just won the Everchosen. Really showing that it's a very dynamic, competitive community. And it's always good to see that kind of stuff, in my opinion. So yes, we're going to be jumping in. Just give me 1 second here. There we go. Now let's fire up this game and get this party started. We're good to go. Welcome, welcome. Yes, you guys like the MS Paint? It's kind of been a signature of my channel for quite some time. ECL stands for the Eternal Challenger League, very heavily inspired by Wulfric the Wanderer. So that's kind of the main theme of all that sort of good stuff. So just going to be remaking here real quick, guys, and then we'll get this lobby set and we'll be good to go. Yes, yes. Super hyped. It's been a while, because I usually start ECLs after a DLC, and there was a bit of a dry spell there, so it took some time. All right.
And more cheese.
I know, soon. All right, so we're in here. Let's go ahead and tell the players we're back. Hey, guys. I'm back. Crashed. So map is Estalian Tomb first. Good luck, have fun. All right, so let's switch into the Flash tournament here and take a look. It's going to be the Prussian Prince against the dreaded Tesla. Tesla with a very impressive run today. Certainly some solid games. So, didn't have time to get my screen blocker up. Let's go ahead and see if I can find one real quick. We'll get the wolf. There we go. All is good. So Prussian Prince against Tesla. It's going to be Lizardmen against Greenskins here in this first match. Quite hyped. I know. Welcome, guys. Welcome. All right, so let me minimize here. Looks like everything is set. So also, for any of you guys who are channel members here, we have new emojis. So, Professor Pone, for example, I see you're a channel member, Job Plays. You'll notice that all the emojis are brand new. Lady Turin actually hand drew them. And then we got them all uploaded and all that sort of good stuff. So I'll also show you guys the whole graphic so you can see them. But if you guys do have access to that, go ahead and show them off. Definitely quite awesome. How's it going, Professor Pone? It is him. Yes. So Lizardmen against Greenskins. Obviously, this matchup has changed quite a bit. In the early days of Warhammer, it used to be very Lizardmen favored. Then Greenskins got a DLC. And then, it's kind of just become, I would say, a relatively even matchup in my experience. Yes. No Skaven yet. I'm sure we will, though. So in today's stream, we'll have a best of 3, followed by a best of 5. So there's going to be a fair amount of games. And, depending on how things go, maybe I'll play some games afterwards. There you go. So Professor Pone and Mr. Pig and sharing those emojis right there. So we have one for every single faction. So if you guys, of course, are in a faction war, for example, you can show it off and shout out your favorite factions and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Lady Turin nailed it. She drew all those by hand. Pretty awesome stuff. Of course, the Skarsnik one is quite popular. Yeah, I love them. They're great. I don't know. If I had to choose a favorite of all of them, Sigvald's pretty irresistible. But I also really like Skarsnik, and the Laughing Slan is really good too. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. All right, guys, and here we are in the game. It's going to be Prussian Prince facing off against the Dreadlord Tesla. It's going to be Greenskins against Lizardmen. Let me go ahead and get rid of the screen blocker now as we load in. Everything looks good. All right, thank you, Condom Wolf. Your service to this great old world will not be remembered. Yeah, all's good. So let's take a look at the armies here for the Greenskins. In the Greenskin front line, it is going to be Black Orcs, maybe some? No, just Crimson Killers with a front line of Orc Boys. Obviously against Bretonnia, although Footsquires, not Bretonnia, excuse me, against Lizards. You know, Black Orcs will, of course, destroy Saurus Warriors. For some weird second there in my brain. Yeah, let me go ahead and change this real quick. These stupid headphones are like making these weird cracking sounds and it keeps disorienting me here. Alright, we're all set. So for a second I thought like my brain was like, he's playing Bretonian Lizardmen. Yeah, always a good time. So Tesla's front line is going to be Orc Boys. They will lose to Saurus, but obviously they're shielded, so if you're playing like a mass skink build or, you know, cohorts, they're going to be somewhat durable against that compared to like, you know, other Savage Orc Biggins and all that sort of good stuff. So definitely like that quite a bit. We got the big old Arachnarok Queen, of course, a anchor and a classic anti-large piece against the Lizards. We have Skarsnik as well. Skarsnik does have the fermented fungi, and there's going to be a hag as well. So we got slows, we got snares, all the classic greenskin tricks and traps and things that we, you know, love them for, really. Orc Arrow Boys in the back mixed in here with the Rusty Airs. Also something to note, guys, is that the Ruination of Cities is fixed. It's no longer bugged, so it actually does shoot in pretty much every direction, which I think is quite cool. Goblin Wolf Riders lurking in the shadows, always a useful piece for fending off Pterodons and things like that. I definitely like those guys quite a bit, and that is pretty much it for the Greenskin army. It's going to be anchored by Skarsnik and the Spider, and it's ready to go. And now for the Prussian Prince. Prussian Prince got Saurus Warriors, and I'll let them know they don't need to wait for me. Don't need to wait for me. Yes. No needs there. So yeah, Cohort of Sotek, Saurus Warriors in the front. It's going to be a Solar Engine mixed in with Ancient Stegodon with the melee ballista on top. Obviously against Greenskins you don't really expect too much artillery, so the other variant probably isn't super prudent. Lord Mazdamundi as well. His Royal Thickness is always a powerful piece. Mazdamundi against Lizards, he can run over the foot characters pretty well, he can fight the monsters. Mazdamundi is a powerhouse of a character with Shield of the Old Ones, Free Banishment, Ruination of Cities. All very useful abilities here. So we'll see if the forces of the Prussian Prince can stop the Greenskin onslaught. So far the Solar Engine appears to be shooting at, I'm not really quite sure. It looks like it ripped a couple shots at these Orc Boys, but definitely should probably start either focusing down the Crimson Killers here. Yeah, you can see shooting the Orc Boys again. I would really like to see him shoot these elite units here in the back. Now the Powhawks of Sentinels are going for an overhead. Oh baby, it's going to be a rock drop. Here it comes. Oh, he's doing it. Prussian Prince. Oh no! Tesla! Oh, did he get it? Ouchies. That did some damage. It wasn't like quite a center mass impact, and he did also in the process sacrifice the Powhawks of Sentinels, so arguably that wasn't 800 gold worth of value, right, or however much they cost. So I think that Tesla still came out a little bit ahead there, considering the Greenskins had a really nice follow-up and were able to punish the Powhawks of Sentinels. And now the Solar Engine has switched onto the Crimson Killers here and should be doing some pretty substantial damage. So here it comes. The battle is on. Saurus Warriors engaging in the front line, partially blocking the Orc Boys who will be engaging against the Skink cohorts. And it looks like a big juicy banishment is going to be going down here. Ooh, that's going to be a good one, potentially, depending on which way it goes. Okay, unfortunate rotation, but still, oh, never mind. It's coming back around there. It's tearing through here. Yeah, it's getting onto those Orc Boys. Certainly not bad. Saurus Warriors, as expected, beating down the poor Orc Boys in the front. And the Powhawks of Sentinels are routed off the battlefield. And it looks like Lord Mazdamundi, his Royal Chungus back here, is just trying to pick off the Goblins and some of the backline assets. But now things get a little bit scary here for the Lizards. We have the Arachnarok Spider in the back line. Crimson Killers have engaged here against some of the Lizards and should be able to pound those guys down pretty good. I mean, still have 51 of 60 models, and they have great splash damage, great AP. Those Saurus Warriors are going to be mincemeated pretty bad. The Cohort of Sotek holding back these Greenskin Chaff units. The Spider in a little bit of a precarious situation now. It was unsupported for a moment, but this is the opportunity here for Tesla to potentially come back. If Tesla is able to, for example, use the Fermented Fungi and get Mazdamundi Rampage and Spirit Leech him with all three of these characters, the Big Boss, Skarsnik, and the Spider, that could be a huge power play. I'm expecting to maybe see the Fermented Fungi go down here in just a second. Granted, the Lizardmen do, of course, have the Cold-Blooded, so it's really funny. They can actually get rid of the Fermented Fungi. So right now he's Rampaging, but if Prussian Prince is really on top of his game here, Mazdamundi could be used Cold-Blooded, and it will actually get rid of that. So I think that would be a prudent play. Looks like Mazdamundi is getting buttered up pretty good. He's out of control. I mean, he's fighting three characters. The Spider doesn't quite seem like it's able to make good contact. Yeah, it's hard to say. Crimson Killers cutting through the stars. It looks like Mazdamundi is in a little bit of trouble. Tesla is certainly getting a good gooning right here. However, Mazdamundi isn't alone. He does have these Skink cohorts, and there also is the Cohort of Sotek nearby applying poison and a Bastillodon as well. And you can see the Giant River Troll Hag actually taking quite a bit of damage, and for some godforsaken reason, the Arachnarok Queen is like pretty close to breaking. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe the Skink Chief sitting up in the trees here. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see the Skink Chief sitting there, as well as the Ancient Stegodon are able to drop some pretty healthy shots into those guys. So it's a very, very close battle. Honestly, this one's just right down to the wire. Crimson Killers cutting through the Saurus as expected. The Greenskin Archer line is now here, and this could be the variable that really changes up the game. The Lizards don't seem to have too much forward pressure to really shut down the Archers. Granted, right as I say that, some Skinks and Chameleons come out of the tree line, and some Saurus come back from an exodus of chasing Orc Boys here. And Mazdamundi does, of course, have healing. Apotheosis isn't a fat heal. That's nice. River Troll Hag is broken. The Warlord of 8 Peaks, the mighty Skarsnik, going to be coming in with his Prada here, his Prada bag. He's going to be trying to shank Mazdamundi. Certainly will do well with his anti-large, but he still is a foot character. Skarsnik does not count as large, if I'm not mistaken, despite that he has Goblet with him. But yeah, it's going to be a good fight. In the back, the Orc Air Boys still shooting away. A big problem here for Mazdamundi. Also, we do have the Arachnarch Spider trying to push its way through. Although it looks like it's a little bit blocked up maybe by the Goblin Big Boss as well as Skarsnik, and can't quite make contact there. A little bit problematic, but the hatchlings have been summoned, and the wall resounds in the valley as the Greenskin army is sauced up on steroids here. You can see 24 melee attack, base weapon damage, immune to psych, which is surprisingly pertinent here. Mazdamundi is being hunted by a bunch of wad-up spider hatchlings, rocking 46 on their melee attack there, chewing at Mazdamundi and doing some great work. I feel like the Greenskins are pulling ahead in this game. It seems like Tesla is in pretty good shape. He's won most of the infantry fights, of course, with the exception of some Saurus over here, but the Crimson Killers can certainly get over there. His archers are functional. He has Orc Air Boys here. He has some Goblin Archers coming back, the Rusty Airs, in conjunction with some Forest Goblin Spider Riders as well. And the blob fight seems to be going pretty well. Ruination of Cities going down from the Dinos. Actually does some decent splash damage, cuts through the Orc Air Boys kind of sitting idle there in the back. Mazdamundi is rampaged once again. I don't know where the Cold Bloods are. Maybe he used the Cold Bloods to de-rampage other targets, but right now Mazdamundi's just kind of staying out of control, and they need stabbing is active. He is certainly getting stabbed and shanked and prodded by all sorts of Greenskin. Oh, and Chungus falls! Mazdamundi falls and teleports back to his Star Chamber. And it looks like the Greenskins are pulling ahead here. Granted, the Arachnarch Spider is not on death's bed per se. It still has over 1,000 HP, but it is running. There's a Solar Engine. We still do also have an Ancient Stegodon, but I think Skarsnik and the Big Boss probably will be capable of getting through many of those targets. Yeah, and like I said, we have the Rusty Airs back online. We have a ton of Archers. I mean, that's going to be a lot of stopping power here against these big dinos. Little Wolf Riders being sacrificed to try and slow down the Ancient Stegodon, because if that Spider does come back, I mean, it's still 1,000 HP, although it is getting rammed to the back by that Stegodon there. And here, the Solar Engine. The Stelodons aren't terribly quick. Oh, look at this. It's a foot Big Boss. I didn't even notice that. Crimson Killers do have great AP as well, and even if they are hitting a big monster, they're going to be able to do some big damage there, and you can see that the Bastillodon with the Solar Engine is running for the hills, and it looks like the Greenskins are closing in on a victory here in this game. Tesla, having an amazing run in today's tournament, looking like he's probably going to win this first game. The Ancient Stegodon being focused on by Archers, and now the Giant River Troll Hag has also come back, and she's healing, and she's nowhere near her healing cap, so with very conservative, smart play here from Tesla, the Giant River Troll Hag could potentially, you know, just come back to like several thousand HP and perhaps have some Spirit Leeches. A little bit hard to tell. She's actually... Oh no, is she going to break again? No, she's back. Okay. And that's going to be game as the Spider Hatchlings do chase down the Ancient Stegodon. And here, Skarsnik, the Warlord of 8 Peaks. Him and Gobla appear to be hanging out in Mazdamundi's Dinosaur right here, just kind of hanging out and celebrating life. And the Greenskins pull out a victory. Very good play there. A solid match on both ends. Pretty badass seeing the Crimson Killers in action. And now we're actually going to be able to see the value that the Crimson Killers were able to accrue over that game. But again, I think the real victory came down to Skarsnik, the Big Boss, as well as the Hag, getting those really proper shanks and rampages. And for some reason, the Lizards kind of got stuck in them, which was a little bit painful for them. So, well played. The Waz back on the menu, boys. And now, as far as the value accrued, Skarsnik certainly did very well for himself. 1,300 here. The Hag, 1,200. Little Big Boss, you know, he tried his best. But Crimson Killers didn't quite pay for themselves, but, you know, they fought to the end, and they were a good anchor piece. And, yeah, it was a really fun build. And Spider, of course, you know, always generally does pretty well in this matchup. For Mazdamundi, 1,100. Solar Engine did 1,100. Stegodon did pretty good at 1,600. But the Lizard Infantry Corps really is where they fell apart. You can see here the SARS didn't really perform too well, nor did the Skinks. So well played. That is game one. I'm buying some Tesla stock right now. I know, you should. It's a hot stock right now, guys. So Tesla is going to go up 1-0 in this best of 3. And now we will switch to the new map. Golden Monolith. All right, and we'll be on the Golden Monolith for our next map. You pray for the Beastmen. Oh, you might be waiting a little while. Although I did see a Beastmen game earlier. I believe it was a game between Evenstar and Voidlaws. And the Beastmen actually did win. Hey, Ruben Bunskoke, thank you for the donation. Look how they massacred my boys. Poor Lizards. Yeah, it was a good fight, though. It was an even fight. You know, I think that Tesla just got the better monstrous engagements. And, you know, that really, you know, led to him winning there. And that's really what that matchup comes down to in many ways. Ruben, thank you so much for the donation, man. Really appreciate that. And yeah, we'll see what they pick and ban here for the next game. We are in the Golden Monolith. So Prussian Prince is going to pick Greenskins himself, and he's banning Vampire Coast and Lizardmen. Oh, Tesla's going Beastmen, baby! Ask and ye shall receive, I think is how that saying goes. Hell yeah. Give me some of those Beastmen. Yeah, and Dactyr is in chat saying, like, he's a Beastman player, isn't he? Oh, dude. Hell yes. We got Beastmen against... So let me get the screen blocker up here. A little bit slow on the screen blocker. I'm sorry, guys. Just so disoriented today. I don't know why. Turin, when are we getting some merch? We have some. Yeah. Hang on. Let me get it for you. I'm going to the store. All right. Get out of here. I'll pull it up for you, man. Lady Turin, of course, did these as well. Absolute masterpieces. As soon as it loads, I'll get you a link. I know the Bray Herd is back. Have you guys seen that video on Tariff's channel? So Tariff is a content creator in Total War, and he does like meme videos. They're actually really funny. I love those videos. He does a great job. But have you guys seen his interpretation of Khazrak? Oh my god, I love it. Like that song that he plays with Khazrak. I don't know why, it just makes me laugh. It's so funny. So we're going to get Beastmen against Greenskins here in this matchup. This should be quite interesting. Prussian Prince certainly has a pretty strong army here. All right. Trying to figure out how to get like the link. One sec here. All right, just making sure there's no rules questions and we're all good. Okay, come on. Oh my god, it's so complicated. Okay, there was a big update to the merch website, so I'll try and get it for you before the stream's over. Yeah, it's like loading all slowly and it's just all weird and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. His channel is great. Oh my god, I love it. The Skarsnik, dude, the Skarsnik laugh, the Spanish guy laughing meme is like one of my favorite memes of all time, and the fact that it became attributed to Skarsnik, I think is just like perfection. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, and the Morker one was really funny too, where it like has Ariel killing Morker with Minecraft sounds. Yeah, that one was fun. Oh my god. Hey, how's it going, Sotek? Welcome to the stream. Ruination of Cities was fixed, so it's no longer some haggard meme ability. Lots of pigs in this matchup? Oh, 100%. So here we are, guys. It's going to be the Prussian Prince with his Greenskins here. So a very kind of simplistic, aggressive build. He's got a front line of Orc Boys, backed up by some Unbreakable Goblins, double Stone Troll, Grom the Paunch. Oh, are we going to get a Chariot duel? Dude, imagine Grom the Paunch battling Khazrak. That'd be so funny. So we got the Arachnoc Queen, of course, very, very much a staple. Good against much of the Beastmen roster. Gorbals, Centaurs, Minotaurs, Spawn. The Arachnoc Queen gives you a really solid anti-large presence, as we saw last game, right? And for the forces of the Greenskins, we got Forest Goblin Spider Riders. We got 2 up here on the high ground as well, but it looks like it's going to be a big old dirty Vanguard. Oh my god, it's happening, guys. It begins. It begins. Hey, Mr. Pig, thank you so much again for that donation. I know you're all about you got the pig life here, man. So for the Beastmen, in Tesla, looks like he's got Ungor Spearman Herds, he's got Gore Herds. In the back line, he does have Razor Gores, backed up by the Butchers of Kalkengard, an amazing terror-causing unit. And in straight combat, they will beat the hell out of those Stone Trolls, which is definitely quite cool. Orker the Shadow gave Brave Shaman of the Wilds, and it looks like a big Vanguard of Centaurs. Now, very quick reaction here by Prussian Prince. He immediately pulls back from the Vanguard, so no real harm to him. He's in good shape. He does also have some Savage Orc Biggins, who I forgot to mention. Savage Orc Biggins are quite good in this matchup. They're pretty much buzzsaws against Minotaurs and Spawn. Granted, a little bit susceptible against Ungor Raider Fire and any sort of Beastmen Witchcraft and Magic that can unfold. Now, the frontline fighting is underway. Grom the Paunch is going to be taking some of the boys to battle the Ungor Spearman Herds, and they're going to have a bad time, but it looks like the Beastmen are probably going to be committing to a blob fight, which I don't know if that's favorable here against the Greenskins. Stone Trolls plus Grom plus the Queen summoning Hatchlings. It's a little bit hard to say. Oh, a nice Vile Tide maybe going down, although it looks like it didn't do too much damage. It does still trigger the passive, but it really didn't do all that much damage. Now here on the flank, the Savage Orc Biggins are about to be swarmed. They're facing the wrong way, which is a little bit unfortunate, and they do get hammered by a huge charge of the Centaurs right there. On top of that, they do also have some basic gore herds in their fighting. So Centaurs definitely want to pull back, though. In sustained combat, it probably won't go too well for them here. And the Arachnoid Queen has been pulled out of combat. Not quite sure how it ended up over there, but nonetheless, I'm sure it will make its way back in. Oh, look at this. The Giant River Troll Hag got nuked by all of the Ungor Raiders. How did that even happen? Now, this is really, really rough for Prussian Prince. If Prussian Prince isn't able to save that Giant River Troll Hag, he could be in some serious trouble this game. And the Beastmen, of course, have a massive mobile advantage. They have all the Centaurs and different beasties kind of around the battlefield and could come in and really chase down that, Giant River Troll Hag. He needs to save that. Being without a caster here really sucks. Although on that same note, Morkar the Shadowgave is getting taken to Pound Town pretty bad. He's being sent back to Minecraft where he can be farmed for his various resources. And, yeah, Morkar the Shadowgave, man. A little bit of trouble. Grom the Paunch is a great anti-foot character here. So, though the caster, the Giant River Troll Hag, is pretty much 100% out of this game, I don't think that the Greenskins have the assets to save that character. Morkar dying here is even worse. And Morkar looks like he might actually die. The Beastmen are getting a decent little surround, though. The little pigs are piling in, and also the Butchers of Kalkengard and Spawn have been summoned. And at the very least, Morkar was able to get his Spawn summon off, or at least one of them, before he got crumped by the Greenskins here. But it looks like the Beastmen are actually in a pretty commanding position. The Cygor summon in melee is something that a lot of good Beastmen players do, because it gives you basically a Walmart giant. And 450 weapon strength with AP is enough to really beat down Stone Trolls. So we'll see if the Greenskins can hold. Morkar is actually probably going to live here. Negative 45. Is it going to shatter is the question. Because if Morkar gets away, he might actually come back and rally, which would be really, really bad for the Greenskins. Oh, look at this on the side as well. The Giant River Troll Hag is back in business, but not for long as the Centaurs come in. But at least she gets off of Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech before she goes. But yeah, the Centaur is really, really in some solid pursuit here from the Tesla. Yeah, a very efficient machine he is. And he's able to chase down the Giant River Troll Hag. And now back in the epicenter of combat, we have the Arachnoid Queen. Also, mind you, there is a lot of Spawn summons on the battlefield, and there is also a Cygor summon. So the bounce power isn't quite accurate at this point, but, that's the thing. The Beastmen will often try and overwhelm you before, the summons wear off, and then they can just kind of clinch the game in that way. But the Arachnoid Queen's holding pretty well. Grom the Paunch is very, very difficult to kill, but the Greenskins don't seem to have too much support here. Yeah, you can see the Giant River Troll Hag was feasted on. Stone Trolls are breaking. I really do think that the Beastmen probably are just going to win this. I don't think Grom the Paunch and the Queen can solo it. I mean, I'm looking around. I don't see too much. Granted, the Beastmen are, no longer leaderless. Look at this, guys. Yeah, Morkar the Shadowgave's back in the menu, boys. His hooves are stomping the ground quite angrily. Yes. And if you guys do have access to the new Morkar emoji, make sure to spam it. He has his own custom emoji there. So Morkar the Shadowgave going to be moving back into battle here. The Arachnoid Queen fully surrounded. And again, I don't see any way out for the Greenskins. Summons are about to wear off, though. The Chaos Spawn are about to disappear. And there's no magic, right? Like a big Doom and Darkness maybe could help break these guys. You might need to just send the Spider Riders in here, because if you can salvage the Queen plus Grom, maybe there could be a chance to come back? I don't know. Morkar the Shadowgave is also healing as well. You can see here. Yeah, he's at negative 26. He's about to break. Oh, look at that. Nice little cheeky play there from Prussian Prince. He gets his hatchlings and sends them over to actually break Morkar. Could this be a comeback? I don't think so. There's just so many Beastmen. And also the Ungor Raiders can probably kill the Spider on their own just through volume of fire. I mean, even though he does have 120 armor here, he moves with a vengeance, he does. Grom the Paunch is so great in this matchup, though. But yeah, I feel like you need to go just like pure blob in this matchup with the Greenskins, too. Like, get like even more. Like, get a Spider and also get, a big rogue idol. So just straight up go pound town on these guys. But I think Prussian Prince losing his caster that early in the battle, because, the Hag, even if she isn't a blob, is a big target. Like, Ungor Raiders will be able to pick her out of a blob. And you can see here that the Tesla is going to be driving his way to victory, man. Grom is broken. A nice 2-0. Very, very well played. Very, very well played. Yes. Yeah, Morkar did it. And the Beastmen claimed victory. We all laughed at them, and then they came back in the fourth quarter and just took it. Too many Beastmen. Yeah, it's a tricky matchup, actually. The Centaur cycle charging, look at the damage value on these. 920 on these, 666 and 800. The Centaur core did very well. And even look at the Gores here. 900, 6, and 382. Not bad for the Gore infantry. Even the piggies did well. Like, almost all those pigs paid for themselves. Butchers did good. I mean, the only person who really got crumped in that army was Morkar the Shadowgave. Yeah, nice. Grom the Paunch, raid boss as usual. Spider, of course, probably did pretty well. Stone Trolls kind of just didn't do too much. They seem to just get beaten down, just like attritioned out. Yeah. The Beastmen rule supreme. Yeah. Oh my god. It's so good. Hey, Carrot Shell, nice one there, man. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket here in today's tournament. So we'll be going over, we'll update it here. And that was a 2-0 for Tesla. So Tesla is going to be going to the grand finals where he'll be facing the winner of Anticity and Kark in a best of 5. So we will remake the lobbies here real quick. So let's switch on over. I almost just went to the webcam and I'm like just shirtless here in my boxers. That would have been interesting. All right, so let's switch to the next lobby here. Let's do it to it. All right, so it's going to be Anticity facing off against Kark, I believe. Going to spectator mode. The herd is too powerful. It's too powerful indeed. Hey, Melee Slon, thank you for the donation. Happy Minecraft cow noises. I know. These are happy times. We are all good here. All right, so we got Anticity versus Kark. Here's up. So let's get those guys invited. And we're all set. So we got Anticity in here. Now we just need to find Kark, and then we are good to go. All right, let's find him here on the dreaded friends list. That was a great series, man. Seeing the Beastmen get a win always warms my... I feel like he's inspired me to play some Beastmen. I've been really neglecting them lately. I used to love playing Beastmen. I don't know what happened. I guess they are like a bit of a meme faction, right? Doesn't mean they're bad. I mean, they still have some decent matchups and whatnot, but we will see. Hey, what's up, Pickled Buddha? Welcome, welcome. And Green Moz. So the preseason basically means it doesn't count as a qualifier, but it's a practice tournament for players to try out all the new stuff. There still is a prize pool. You know, players are going to be getting a prize for winning first here, so there still is something at stake. And, you know, there's a chance I may count it as a qualifier. At some point, if, for example, we decide to open up the grand finals and make it like a 16-man tournament, I could easily make this one count as one, so... yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. We'll make sure Kark can see the lobby here. I know this game is quite treacherous for all that sort of good stuff. Let me know if you can't see lobby. And let's get the scoreboard. So it's going to be Anticity versus Kark. Let's reset the scores. Boom, update. And we can go back to the lobbies here. Very good. Even the Chaos Gods don't care about them. Yeah. Beastmen are... we have all these new shiny toys. It almost makes me feel bad, you know? You got all these new shiny toys, and then the poor disheveled Beastmen are just sitting in the corner being, like, rained on. You know? Just withering and atrophying away. Well, if you want to see Vampire Coast, they have been nerfed, of course. Anticity is a Vampire Coast main, so I'm fairly certain we will see him playing the Vampire Coast at some point here. So you guys don't need to hold your breath for that. And we can do Kark Ungor for the first map here. The wrists are doing pretty good, Austin. Yeah, it's a process. It's a process for sure. And now... hopefully Kark will be back soon. Of course, Tesla in the grand finals. Kark with a very solid run as well. So if we look, we can actually go back and look at the tournament real quick here and see the overall kind of scheme of the day. All right, so let's do this. Yeah, so if we look at the run of all the players so far, Kark has had a really, really solid performance. He was able to defeat Guak 2-0, and Guak had a good run as well. And Guak, of course, was one of our ever-chosen contenders. He did qualify last season for the grand finals. Kark also defeated Zyphos 2-1, a very, very big accomplishment for sure. And from there, he faced off against Sir Astolfo, who's also a great tournament player, and then Pesci with a 2-1 in the beginning. Yeah. Great run there so far from him. For Anticity, he faced off against Void Laws, who's obviously done very well for himself. Void Laws did defeat Evenstar, who was an ever-chosen player. And then Anticity had to face Iron General, who's really, really good. And then he had to face, unfortunately, his clanmate Lupe, and it always sucks when that happens. But it is random, so it's not like it's just, you know, some punishment. And then if we look at the bottom side, Tesla, of course, has had a really, really solid run. Tesla with the 2-0 against Prussian Prince, a 2-1 against Tank, a 2-0 against Park Map, a 2-0 against Turin Papa of Turin, and a 2-0 against Happy Puppy in the first initial round. That's a lot of games to play today. That is a serious amount of games. And that is pretty much the tale of the tape as it pertains to today's tournament. So let's load back in here. All right, map set. And oh yeah, we're gonna get some Skaven. I've been wanting to see like it's interesting. Like I haven't been seeing too many of the new DLC factions. Like even though you know it's all new and fun, and haven't been seeing them too much. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, looks good. We have a donation from Lucius the Eternal. Is this a meme channel? It's funny anyways. You know, we do some from time to time. Our thumbnails are probably the closest thing to memes, but aside from that, a little bit in the commentary, but you know, not too much. We need an all Eagle Wood Elf build, Professor Pone, just to fly the halflings to Mordor. Yeah, I think so, Pone. Words of wisdom. So it's Anticity against Kark here. Going to be ODM against, I think Kark is in Clan QSA, although he doesn't wear the badge. But yeah, should be fun. As far as the picks and bans go, we do have Kark picking Skaven and banning Counts and Coast. I think that's smart. The only other bad matchup I feel Skaven have is Wood Elves. I feel like new Wood Elves are really good against Skaven. But I don't think Anticity really plays Wood Elves, so I don't think he needs to worry about that. So banning the Undead factions in the beginning I think is good. Oh, he bans... Oh, I thought that said Counts. Okay. Vampire, Counts, and Chaos. He left open Anticity's Coast. Oh, but we're getting Beastmen again! Oh, dudes. Hadri says that Kark needs Warpstone at 7 a.m. for him. Jeez, that's brutal, Hadris. Alright, so guys, we're getting more Beastmen. Kazarak up in this hoe. I'm hyped for this. Yeah, you know, Yavik, we did start... There was a fair amount of memes that were started on this channel, for sure. I think we were the first ones to call Orion Mel Gibson. I can't remember if we were. That's an old one. That meme's been around since the days of old. Yeah. So we got Beastmen against Skaven. I actually, you know, this one is interesting. I'm curious how the new Skaven will play here. What Kark will use against the Beastmen. So basically we have two Beastmen factions just fighting each other. One, it just happens to be rats, and the other one is like, you know, bovine and farm dwelling animals. Yeah. I bet you know what? I think we'll probably in game 3, Ludwig, I think we'll get like a Skaven FLC in game 3, which will have Thankful and it will have Storm Fiends. Like that's my prediction. We'll see if it comes true, but I think that's going to happen. It'll just be like a fun, like you'll probably get like you know, new factions, whatever, getting X, Y, and Z, and then you'll get like a Thankful / Storm Fiend to like added to the game with an FLC. I'm pretty sure something like that could happen. The Beastmen are here. I'm really curious to see this. Yeah, Beastmen are definitely a bit of a meme in lore, for sure. It's like, oh yes, the Beastmen occupied this village in this area, and then they were driven away by the Reiksguard Knights, really, you know? Yeah. They beat some villagers in the local garrison. Yeah. I'm really curious about Kark's build here, though, because I know the Beastmen build more or less, yeah, it's like a spawn rush. Because Chaos does the same thing. Chaos does like a spawn rush, but the Beastmen have some other elements, of course, with their lords, and yeah, it's going to be Morker again. So for the forces of the Skaven, it's going to be quad Rat Ogre. Okay, going balls deep in the Rat Ogres. On top of that, he's got Skaven Slave Spears, backed up by Wolf Rats, double Assassin with Lord Skrulk, and quad Gutter Runner. Now, the Gutter Runners are actually quite good here, because they can take apart spawn very, very efficiently, and they're also pretty hard to catch for the... I mean, Centaurs can catch them, but they still take damage in the pursuit. And it looks like he's got Rat Ogres as well. A very simplistic Skaven build. Not simplistic. I mean, it's going to be hard to play, and it, you know, has multiple angles, but I'm just saying, like, you know, Ogres, Gutter Runners, and that, like, that's really it for his core army here. On top of that, we got Wolf Rats with Poison. Wolf Rats are very strong. They beat Chaos Warhounds, and I would imagine if Wolf Rats actually get a proper charge on Centaurs, they could maybe tear them up pretty good. Yeah. Hard to say. Hard to say. All right, guys, and now for the Beastmen, the Bray Herd. We got Centaurs on the flank, and they are the shielded variant, which is definitely the way to go here in this matchup for chasing down skirmishers. In the back, we got a bunch of Ungor Raiders, perhaps against Molder Monsters. Front line is going to be Ungor Herds backed up by Spawn. We got a Lord Manticore Summoner here, so Manticore Summons are still good. And we do have Morker the Shadow Gave. Pretty good stuff. Let's get this party started, man. Let's get this party started. Yeah, no war machines. I mean, as far as this matchup goes, I definitely like Kark's build. I don't know how effective Rat Ogres are in this matchup, though. I've always felt like Rat Ogres are a little bit inefficient against Beastmen, simply because of how easily they die to like Beastmen chaff, like Ungors and Raiders kill them, and Centaurs can kill them with proper charges. So, you know, I'm curious to see how well the Rat Ogres will function here. Now they have some support, though. Wolf Rats plus Rat Ogres should be pretty dominant. Look at this. Oh, I missed this. Okay, he's got even more Wolf Rats. He's got Wolf Rats, and yeah, 4 in total. So the quad Wolf Rat is here, and it's going to be all business, man. Carrot Shell. Yes. Carrot Shell drawing the matchup with the new emojis. I love that, man. Glorious stuff. So the Gutter Runners are kind of feeling it out. Both players is reposturing their armies. The Skaven probably want to take the fight like in this area because they do have a hidden force of Wolf Rats here. So if the Beastmen overcommit, these Wolf Rats could, you know, pounce and potentially do some big damage here. But the Beastmen do also have Ungor Raiders. 115 range against 70 on the Gutter Runners. So the Beastmen in some ways can dictate the engagement because they do have the ranged advantage. They can kind of, you know, poke in with their Ungor Raiders and force them Rats to scurry forward and do that fighting. Yes, yes. So Gutter Runners moving in. It looks like all 4 in total. The Skaven just following up with the Rat Ogres, being very, very conservative here. Not really pushing the envelope. And now it looks like Anticity is going to be teasing a charge. So he does come in here with the Centaurs. A very patient play here from the Beastmen, I must say. I think that's partially because Anticity is trying to get a full surround. So the Centaurs in the back have come over here and are looking to maybe collapse in sync with the rest of the army, rather than maybe pressuring. Yeah, there's no like ranged assets to really chase except for the Gutter Runners. No weapons teams, no mortars, nothing like that. Gutter Runners getting a little bit of poke and stroke here on the Bray Shaman, do some topical HP damage. Now the Beastmen more or less have a surround. They don't really have anything in this general direction, but you guys are going to be surprised to see how well Wolf Rats can do against Centaurs if they get the charge. And the Centaurs do not. Centaurs on the charge will absolutely destroy Wolf Rats, but of course, if the Wolf Rats are the ones to do the counter-charging, it can be quite ugly. Now on the flank here, we do have some Rat Ogres getting crumped pretty good by the Bacon, so the Baconators flying in there with some Centaur support, and also we got Ungor Raiders coming in and more Centaurs coming in, and yeah, I think the Beastmen probably should do well here, especially considering they have the infantry advantage coming in. Yeah, nice little surround there by those Centaurs. Now back in the center mass, we do have the Ungor Herds as well as the Chaos Spawn doing the good fight. It looks like there's going to be a big old fat Manticore summon coming in as well. Should call the Wolf Rats New York Rats. Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. But the center mass engagement is a little bit of a toss-up, although I would say it's going a little bit better for the Beastmen, as these Skaven slave lines are buckling, which means these Skaven characters are now isolated, being attacked by Spawn, being attacked by a Manticore. That is pretty much a worst-case scenario for Skaven. Nobody likes that, especially the Rats. Their characters, especially the Assassins, are relatively squishy. Now, on the flank engagement, it's a little bit messy. It looks like these Skaven have been able to push back using the Wolf Rats. So the Wolf Rats come in and just absolutely destroy the Centaurs and much of the lightly armored infantry support. But, you know, the durability of the infantry, you know, having infantry engagements in monsters fights obviously is the deciding factor here. And the Ungor Spearman herds are able to help push off the Rat Ogres with consistent damage. And Spawn also beat the brakes off Rat Ogres as well. They do amazing damage against light armor. And Rat Ogres themselves only have 30 armor, so it's a little bit tricky to say. So now we got some more Spawn coming over. Looks like the Bray herd potentially going to be 2-0 today. Centaurs on the flank fighting Wolf Rats should be able to win that, especially since there's a little bit of archer support. And Lord Skrulk is now being attacked by a Manticore, and Morker is coming with that Pimp Claw. He's tired of making those sad cow noises, and he's ready to do some work as Skrulk is being escorted around the battlefield here by this Manticore escort. And yeah, it's going to be taking more damage. Skrulk gets popped in the face there, and now the Beastmen are really pulling ahead. And you know what's even scarier too for the Skaven is there's probably another Manticore summon coming soon. Although that is going to be a Plague Monk summon, but yeah, hard to say. Skaven still do have Gutter Runners. Gutter Runners, this is a really nice play by Kark here. I always am like tempted to call him Quark, because it just is like so similar, and I've been watching so much Star Trek, but yeah, look at the Spawn being taken apart. I mean, maybe if the Skaven can endure the summon, but I'm a little bit concerned for Skrulk dying, and I think if Skrulk dies and the Skaven lose their caster, I think the Beastmen army will probably just pick them apart without their leadership. The Skaven Chieftain, of course, could be something you could bring here. I was really thinking from Kark we would be seeing like a Monster Mash build of some kind, using maybe some of the new units. I think Throt could actually be pretty solid in this matchup with like Creature Killer and his mobility and durability, but yeah, hard to say. So both Skaven Assassins are, I think, broken. One's broken here, and Skrulk is getting pimp slapped by Morker. No longer will he make those noises of misery. Wolf Rats in the back coming into collapse. Definitely a big strength of the Skaven. Now they have something to chase archers, and Wolf Rats should kill Ungors fairly quickly. Wolf Rats actually have surprisingly good offensive output with 28 melee attack and 26 weapon strength, so they're chewing away there. Doing some good work, but yeah, the Skaven leadership really is the name of the game. Like, if the Skaven had like a fast lord right now, like Throt, for example, and still had access to their Gutter Runners, a little bit of kiting, I think they could certainly win the game. But in this case, their leadership squad, the Assassins and Skrulk just being pimp slapped by Morker's Filthy Claw, I think is going to be too much for this Skaven to handle, and the Gutter Runners are going to be running to the hills, and that probably will be game one for Anticity. I have to say, it's very strange to see him play Beastmen. Like, I'm sure he has played them before, but I'm so used to seeing him play Coast or, you know, those type of factions pretty much in all of his games. And Rip Rados. Yes, the biggest Skaven power creep is here, right? Yeah, and they're pushed back by the Beastmen. The Bray Herd smiles once more. The bad moon shines over the old world, or I guess that's more of a goblin thing. It would be like the Eye of Morsleep watches them. Yes. No, Beastmen are actually not bad in multiplayer. They're just like memed on a little bit because they're so old and outdated, but they still have some very functional tools. Well played. Yeah, Morker, you know, he did his thing. He did his thing indeed. Centaurs probably were breadwinners. Yeah, they all did pretty good for themselves. Spawn, of course, doing decent damage. The thing is, this army's like a bunch of squishy stuff, so you're not going to get as much like raw damage value as you would against a faction with like big meaty HP. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I was saying before the game started, guys, I don't think Rat Ogres are that great in that matchup. Like, they just get kind of dunked on by Centaurs and like Ungor Raiders and like all that sort of cheap chaff. That's just my anecdotal experience. Maybe you guys have had a different one, but I would definitely take a very different approach if I played Skaven against Beastmen. Though I do like the Gutter Runners. I think that's a really nice kind of counterplay against the Chaos Spawn. So let's update the scoreboard here. It's going to be, let's get to the lobby first. All right. There we go. The winner of this, of course, will be going to the grand finals to face the mighty Tesla. Beastmen are the best counter against Skaven. Interesting thought. Yeah. You know, I've been having, with the exception of Wood Elves, I've been having trouble with Skaven. But, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't be that against Beastmen. I don't know. How would I play that with Skaven? Probably, the thing is, if you go Death Star against Skaven, what ends up happening to you is the Ungor Raiders kill you. So I'm curious about that matchup. Yeah, Beastmen apparently need some mega nerfs, yeah. Yeah, Professor Pone, I've been seeing a lot of Tomb Kings. And we had them, I think, 2 or 3 times in Everchosen, and also in today's tournament, there was a ton of Tomb Kings play throughout the day. Yeah. Anticity apparently has given up his Vampire Coast, and he's gone to the lands of the Beast people. Just a complete joke, of course. Map set. Anticity grabbing some water. Yeah, I've been super parched lately. My lips have just been like, real dry. My biggest disappointment with Rat Ogres is using them in Skaven campaigns. They just are just such trash. Oh my god. Clan Molder can be pretty OP in campaign though. I played a Clan Molder campaign on my own time, and using the Rat Ogres, or the Brood Horrors with that explosion ability is pretty broken for sure. So we are going to be on Blue Reach River, which is a pretty big map. Anticity is going to go Vampirates, and he bans Dwarves and High Elves. Interesting. So he'd rather face Empire. I would imagine Kark will probably pick Empire here. Granted, Wood Elves do have some decent builds, but on a map this big, I probably wouldn't want to pick Wood Elves into Anticity's Vampire Coast. Empire, I think, would probably be the safest pick. But I don't know what Kark's range of factions are. So, but yeah, Empire is really good here. Really, really good. Banning Dwarves is a must, though. Hands down. Hands down, my friends. Yeah. Yeah, Rat Ogres are a good unit in many matchups. They're quite good against, in multiplayer, that is. They're quite good against Empire for stopping, like, Empire Knights and, like, cheap cavalry. I think that's one of the better ones. Oh, we haven't... Carrot Shell, we haven't had too many wins down here, no. It's been pretty calm. It's been... yeah, maybe that is the case, though. It's been super dry. Oh, we're going to get Dark Elves against Coast. So Kark is coming in with the Druki here. Now, this is a matchup that pre-nerf of Vampire Coast, I used to feel was very Coast favored, but maybe with some of the nerfs and some of the buffs Dark Elves got. If you guys haven't seen the patch notes, Dark Elves got some really big buffs to their infantry, like Bleak Swords and Dread Spears got nice combat stat buffs, and yeah, this will be really cool. Yes. We will see. Wood Elves can go all Vanguard, so the size of the map is less of an issue. Yeah, they can Hadries, but on a map like this, you can also, like, the deployment zone is quite substantial, so you can, like, kind of, like, get even further caddied back. But yeah, you're certainly correct, Hadries. And with Wood Elves vanguarding against Coast, I think a lot of it comes down to, like, a little bit of RNG and luck, because obviously the deployment zone is kind of, like, split into 2 quadrants, and not quadrants, 2 halves. So, like, it's kind of rock, paper, scissors. Like, if the Wood Elves get a straight deployment right in front of the Vampire Coast face, like, they're going to dunk on you. But If they don't, and there's a little bit more spatial separation, it can be tricky, I think. Yeah. If you had to pick what 40k Imperial faction do you like the lore of? Probably the Imperial Guard. Yeah. For sure. I've never cared much for the Custodes. The Custodes. I just like to call them Custodes because it triggers all the all the people who play them. I don't actually intentionally do that, but yeah, I like the Imperial Guard a lot. Like, it's the same reason why I like the Empire in fantasy. You know, I like Death Guard. I like Space Marines to an extent, but I like Death Guard because of their aesthetics. Like, I love the Baroque, like torn up, like grungy look with like horns coming out of them and like super like, yeah. It's hard to say. So we'll see. Yeah, Dark Elves here, though, I feel like it's a risky pick. But, you know, Kark, he's got his own things going on. He's obviously done very well today. But Anticity's Coast is some next-level shit, for sure. The only thing is, Nuns with Guns, yeah. They're pretty cool, too, the Sisters of Battle, yeah. Apathy, my problem with Depth Guard polearms is they're very expensive and also very squishy. I mean, they have a low model count, so they can get nuked pretty bad by certain stuff, yeah. Yeah, but Death Guard is my favorite. I have a massive Death Guard collection, and we're about to get our codex too. The Custodes always swearing in their swamps. I love that, dude. That's really funny. Yeah, Death Guard is my favorite. So, you know, I have trouble getting behind the Space Marines because, like, I like to play somewhat of an underdog faction, and like when every new content drop in 40k is like Space Marines, and then every lore story is like Space Marines just crushing everything, and you know, the only time Space Marines really get owned is against other Space Marines in the Horus Heresy, you know. So I have trouble getting behind the loyalist Space Marines because like they just always just crump everyone, and if they lose, it's just like, you know, a temporary thing. I mean, with the exception of Cadia, of course, but yeah. I don't know. I like to play the underdog factions. And Death Guard is, you know, they got their haggard underdog. They're, you know, basically all the Demon Primarchs and, you know, main Chaos characters are just used as like haggard mustache twirling villains in the lore just to like be defeated by some new character they're trying to promote, right? Yeah. That's just my 2 cents, though. You can't. Yeah, Death Guard is pretty good in 9th edition because of how objective based it is. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, do drop a like. It helps YouTube share the multiplayer love around the YouTube sphere. It does help out quite a bit. Thank you guys so much. Cadia broke before the Guard did. I know, classic stuff. You know what books I actually really liked were the Gojiro says I destroyed Pwn earlier. I'll take a look at the replay. Shout out to the Astral Knights. All right, there you go. You know what books I really liked in 40k were the like, that's what's really like, I don't like reading a lot of the Space Marine literature, but I have read a fair amount, but I like it when you have like well written chaos that like doesn't just make them like a mouth breathing evil villain, but it helps you understand their perspective and their like psyche, even though it is quite twisted and horrible. But that's why I really liked the probably my favorite chaos I've read is the Black Legion series by Aaron Dembski Bowden. I think he's the author of that. Yeah, I really liked that. That was great. Because like, you know, it gives a little spice to the characters. Like, I really like Kion, the sorcerer, who's like the main character in those books. Yeah. So that's just my 2 cents. When Games Workshop wants to make someone look badass, they kill an Avatar of Cain. Just like, yeah, it's like Avatar of Cain or like some greater demon, just like, because the greater demons are great because they're like plot characters that you can just recycle over and over. It's like, oh yes, brother, we banished the great bloodthirster, but fear not, it will respawn shortly and then it will come back and we can kill it again in the next book, you know. The Avatars of Cain, the greater demons, it's so funny. And Mortarian's the same way, right? Like these demon primarchs, like, oh, he was banished by the Grey Knights, brother, but fear not, he'll be back when we need another villain to bitch slap. You know, it's just like, oh, it's so funny. Yeah, it's really funny. Anyways, guys, yeah, did I have a screen blocker? I can't remember. No, I don't. I don't think I have a screen blocker. Okay. That's right. I'm in spectator mode now, so I don't need to use one. Okay, so for the forces of Anticity, let's take a look at his army. Going back to the old school, he's got a zombie pirate deckhand mobs, which is quite cool. He does also have Count Noctilus. Ooh, the hard knock life, baby. Not seeing Luther Harkin. Very, very interesting. I actually do think that Count Noctilus on the beast tiers is quite a good option. Yeah, he's mobile. He can really pound down, you know, a multitude of targets. Definitely do some serious work. Double handgun mob, no. Quad handgun mob, double cannon, no. One cannon and a carronade, or a mortar, excuse me. Some Morgulls in the back. And Anticity, of course, must have some hounds lurking in the trees. Why am I seeing something? Yeah, he's got the scurvy dogs. You have to have scurvy dogs to try and kill bolt throwers and to go after archers and all those different things like that. So, yeah, pretty fun stuff. And yeah, I definitely like this army. He's got a gunnery wide as well, so if the battle does get really long and kind of dragged out, he can give Noctilus some extra powder there. And now for Kark's army, he's got a front line of Blackheart Corsair handbows. Of course, the armor on these guys probably makes them surprisingly durable against, like, you know, scurvy dogs. Scurvy dogs have pretty terrible AP, and even if they are able to catch the Blackheart Corsairs, 80 armor plus the combat prowess of the Corsair means they could probably beat the scurvy dogs in combat. So I definitely really like the front line of the Corsairs. On top of that, we got Shades. Shades are also a cool choice because they do have stock, which means they can't be bombarded until they get really close. So maybe if Anticity does some scouting with his dogs, he'll see them. But otherwise, the Shades will be able to close the distance. And look at this. Quad Bolt Thrower. This is a very, very strange build. Look at this. My goodness. He's got 4 of those bad boys. And for his lord, he does have a Supreme Sorceress of Death, some Dark Riders hiding in the trees, I would imagine maybe to protect the back line. Yeah, look at this. He's got more Dark Riders and Dark Riders back here, just looking to kind of control the battlefield. Now, so far, the Druki are advancing. Both players saying good luck, have fun to one another. Always a good sport. And Lich109, I do see your donation. I'll make sure to read that after the game is over, brother. Thank you so much. And the Reaper Bolt Thrower is going downtown, shooting at Count Noctilus. Certainly a pretty good countermeasure against him, especially considering Coast doesn't probably have the tools to deal with 4 Bolt Throwers over here in the main army. Now, if, for example, Kark makes a big mistake and doesn't react to the scurvy dogs fast enough, yeah, this could just be game loss right here. Oh, man. He had the answers, and then the scurvy dogs just come in. Like, I don't think there was any point in, like, hiding the Dark Riders that far back. Yeah, because now the scurvy dogs might be able to shut down multiple Bolt Throwers, which is really, really painful. Nonetheless, Noctilus has taken some damage. The Shades are about to come in and probably drop some firepower on Count Noctilus as well, but they have to watch out for the handguns. It's certainly not fresh fish, but this is really the epicenter of the battlefield here. So 1 Bolt Thrower it might stabilize. The crew will certainly break, but if they can come back, that's really good. And if I have to say something about Anticity, he has terrifying Hound Micro. It's like really a staple of Vampire Coast players in general. And here you can see the scurvy doggos running about, looking for some fresh fish. Probably going to be collapsing on the Shades right now. So far, Anticity, I would say, is in a pretty commanding position, as he has been able to temporarily shut down the Bolt Throwers. However, Captain Pegleg here, well, you know, he's not taking that much damage, actually. And the mortars and cannons are shooting back. Sirens are pulling back in here as the deckhand mobs continue to chase out as well. And how many mortars do we have left? It looks like one of the mortars was actually killed. There's 2 of the 3. All 3 cannons are still functional. And Anticity is still just running in circles with his scurvy dogs. Just trolling so hard. I think, yeah, look at this. He got one scurvy dog like back and up and under, and now it's going to be coming in and probably chasing down these Shades. He's just so functional with these hounds. Because, you know, myself and many other players, I'm sure, oftentimes with hound units, you'll like send them in to go after an artillery piece, then your micro goes elsewhere, right? But in this case, like, Anticity just like rinses and reuses them and is really able to get some beautiful value from them. So handguns are now pushing up, going to be pressuring into the Blackheart Corsair handbows. For the back line of Anticity, there's not really any threats. And, you know, though Kark did take some damage early, I think he's stabilized really well. He's done a good job getting his bearings. He has all 4 Bolt Throwers, and they didn't lose any of the actual model, so their firing power is still full capacity. And really, Kark has done a good job getting back into this game, despite a relatively rough start. But now this is where things get a little bit scary, is when the Vampire Coast going to be doing a big slow push here. And you can see the handguns actually getting shreked pretty good. Look at this. Really beautiful Shade play. Shades do also have dual weapons, I think some of them. These ones do not. Those are basic Shades, and these are dual weapons. So it looks like it's a 2-and-2 ratio there for those units. Morgulls are pushing up. Yeah, I really like the Shade play. Like, the Shades are kind of pulling back the Vampire Coast and really punishing these zombie pirate gunnery mobs. Look at this. Beautiful volleys coming in here from Kark. And he's basically using the Corsair handbows as a bit of a screen. And now Anticity is being forced to move up. Vampire Coast is not a faction that likes to move too much. They can do rushes, but, you know, obviously it's not going to be their favorite thing. Shades are going to be pulling back here, I would imagine, as the handguns kind of pepper them down, but one handgun is fully crumbled. And now that's some place where the nerf does show. Those zombie pirate handguns, if this were pre-nerf, would still be alive. They would have 30 more models and a lot more HP, but a little bit unfortunate. One of the shades does get caught by the Morngul Pimp Slappers here. The Knight Terrors, of course, do have that anti-infantry bonus. And are quite sneaky indeed. Though they're being focused by quite a bit of firepower. We do have the Corsair bows as well as shades. Yeah, 2 units of shades really pouring into them. So maybe Kark realized that he needed to sacrifice 1 unit of shades to hold back the advance of these other guys here. A little bit hard to say. But now Vampire Coast is actually starting to get a little bit danger close here. Nice play by Kark in the back line, able to get the Dark Riders and shut down those gunnery mobs, and also has some Corsair handbows coming back. And yeah, Anticity also has a really open back line. Like if Kark is able to get, for example, 1 gunnery mob, the cannon and mortar, or excuse me, 1 Dark Rider, the cannon and mortar in the backfield, 100% dead. Oh no, but this is a disaster here for Kark. Though the battle is looking relatively close, I think this could be game blouses, in the words of the great Dave Chappelle, imitating, I think that was Prince, right? Yeah, it's Prince. Prince comes over for the pancakes and does the whole scheme there. But these 2 units of Scurvy Dogs are just going to feast on the souls of all these bolt throwers, and that is such a painful loss right there. Just, it breaks my heart. But yeah, that's really, really big. I don't know if Kark will be able to come back from it. He does have a lot of shades, and also Count Noctilus is pretty close to dying. I would imagine that this Supreme Sorceress of Death is just kind of flying back and forth and Spirit Leeching him. And on that same note, these Blackheart Corsair handbows might actually make it and shut down the artillery pieces. So the mortar piece back here and the carronades. So it looks like both players are kind of trading their artillery pieces here. But man, these Scurvy Dogs have just been doing so much this whole game. It's just absolute lunacy. Yeah, this Bolt Thrower crew is going to get taken down. The Shades are still, obviously, relatively safe. I think keeping the Dark Riders to protect the Shades at this point is probably the way to go. Although he is going to be charging into those Scurvy Doggos and getting a little bit of damage. Noctilus is Spirit Leech, but also there's going to be a Wraithstorm coming down. Wraithstorm isn't that good at tracking. If you're not standing still, typically most of the shots will miss. Looks like the Corsair handbows in the back didn't quite make it here. Unfortunately, Noctilus was able to kind of block those guys down, but some Dark Riders did push back here. Mortars are going down, and it looks like the Carronade crew probably will live. I think Vampire Coast can probably use Noctilus and some of the other firepower they have here to potentially force back those Dark Riders here, so we will see. Yeah, Romulan Zog, that's what I thought. It was the Prince episode. I get it confused with the Rick James stuff sometimes, but yeah, man, Chappelle Show was so good. Definitely the comedy of our era, brother. Hope you're doing well, Romulan. Shades shooting downtown against the zombie pirates, and also the Shades with the dual weapons able to eviscerate those zombies in combat. Another Spirit Leech going down. I mean, maybe if Kark can play a really long, grindy game and just Spirit Leech, but no, there's a Gunnery White, there's handguns back here. And, like, I think there was an opportunity where Kark maybe could have killed both the artillery for free with those Dark Riders instead of trying to engage here, but yeah, it's hard to say. Now the Sorceress is hiding through the trees here. It'll give her a little bit of screening. Noctilus has to shoot through the tree line, so many of his shots will be wasted. But he has plenty of ammo. Noctilus is getting the extra powder from the Gunnery White, which I love that combo here from Anticity. I think that's just some super heavy metal stuff. And here, we got the Shades with dual weapons continuing to drop some huge blows here. Gojira Gaming. Dude, Gojira, that comedy skit probably came out like 3 years after you were born. If memory serves. Yeah, what was that, 2005 and 6? Yeah, you might have seen it. Yeah, those skits are so good, dude. Yeah, I'm glad you've enjoyed the classics, Gojira, that us old folk love. The Supreme Sorceress of Death flying in circles here. There are some Shades back, and Bounce of Power is kind of like creeping a little bit. And, you know, one volley from Shades could probably almost kill Noctilus here. Yeah, look at that. 1,000 damage, more or less, on him. But a really beautiful summon there. Great reaction there by Anticity. This is still a really close game. Look at this. The Shades in the back are coming back. And the Sorceress gets a Spirit Leech from downtown. Oh, is she going to get away? Gunnery White is a great sniper as well. Oh, the Wraithstorm jukes. Oh my god. It's so close. Yes, and the Sorceress does get back into the tree line. Noctilus is crumbling. Holy shit, is Kark going to pull this one out? That would be insane. I don't know, though. The Scurvy Dogs are still so angry. Oh god, they must have gotten so much gold. So much gold of value. Noctilus at 161. -2 leadership. He's losing 10 HP per second, but he stabilizes. No, he's back to -4. He's crumbling again. He's going back and forth. Oh my god, if Noctilus dies, maybe, but I don't think so. And you know what's really funny? On Vampire Coast, you have all this stuff, right? You have, you know, these big guns, you have Count Noctilus, but really the unit that won this game were the Scurvy Dogs, killing 4 bolt throwers, all because the Scurvy Dogs weren't compromised at some point. Like, they carried this super hard. The Sorceress is cackling in the trees, obviously just waiting to get one more Spirit Leech. Noctilus, look at Noctilus. Oh my god. He has 39 HP and he's healing. That is so foul. God, I would be so sad if I were in Kark's position. Oh my god. Scurvy Dog's like super hard carry this game though. Summons are about to wear off. Look at this. The mortar teams are coming in. So what do we have? We have Shades. We have Shades. Yeah, those Banshees are going to be a problem as well. Man, Noctilus being alive and still shooting is such an unfortunate circumstance. Yeah, the Sorceress is coming in for the kill. She's like, all right, I got to end you. Oh, he just died actually. Okay, he just randomly died. Yeah, so you're all good. But you know who's going to carry the game at the end of the day? The frickin' Scurvy Dogs, man. Sometimes the simplicity is what carries, right? You have all these fancy tools, but those Scurvy Doggos, man. Look at this. Anticity's like juking the shots from the Shades. And the Sirens are getting a little bit danger low. There is a Sorceress as well. I don't know if she has a Spirit Leash in the back pocket. Scurvy Dogs will be fighting Shades. Shades are relatively squishy with their armor, but do have some punch, so they might be able to win this fight. And look at this. This is really unfortunate, too. The Shades having to fight Sirens in combat sucks pretty bad. Negative 44, though. They are crumbling down. Obviously, they don't want to be in this fight any more than Scurvy Dogs do, I would imagine so. And if we look over here, the Supreme Sorceress of Kark is still around. Ooh, a Scab Scrape coming down. Does some fat damage. And now the Gunnery White's going to be getting in there. And that Crabbo is certainly going to be stabbing. But look at the dogs here. The Scurvy Dogs are like tearing through like all these archers and Shades here. Now the handguns are shooting. And, you know, I don't know if the Sorceress can do anything. Maybe come in and drop a Spirit Leech on those freaking Scurvy Dogs. Yeah, this is insane. This is just a lunacy game here. No, but it looks like Anticity's going to pull it out, guys. And it's all because of the Scurvy Dogs. Those dudes handled business. A really back and forth game. Extremely GG for sure. Now the Sorceress piles in, but it's too little too late. Too much damage. Well played. Holy shit, what a game. You know, I often don't like that map because people tend to forest camp on it, but now that we have rules against forest camping, I'm pretty happy to pick it. Well played there. Anticity's going to be going to the grand finals to face Tesla of today's glorious tournament. So let's go ahead and update the scorecard here. Anticity with the 2-0. And he'll be advancing on to the grand finals here. Ent, GG, well played. Ent, stay here. So Tesla, if you're watching, just go ahead and join this lobby and we'll get you all set. Well played to Anticity and Kark. Those were some amazing games. But the Scurvy Dogs got too much value. Oh, I didn't look at the gold they got. I'm so sorry. Ah, damn it. Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I could have looked at that, but I was just so like focused on getting everything going. It's all right. Maybe I'll have Anticity send me the replay and we can look. No, it's quite the opposite, Mr. Sturm. I love using Scurvy Dogs. Yeah, and just hound units in general. It's going to be Tesla. Let me ask Anticity. Anticity, what was the gold value on your dogs? Don't worry, guys. I'll get the doggo value from him right here. Anticity probably looked, so he can tell me. Oh no, he says he missed it. Send me the replay. So I can look later. We'll take a look at the... Sorry, I'm still getting used to that mechanic. Fear not. Fear not, brothers. Anticity is going to be sending me the replay, and at the end of the stream, please remind me, we'll take a look at the doggo value. We'll just fast forward through the game and look. All right. Map set. Romulan Dog says I need a shot collar whenever you forget to check the damage stats. I know. I know, I'm sorry. All right, so now we have our best of 5 finals, guys. It's on, baby. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's okay. I'm going to get you the values afterwards. We'll take a look. We'll close out the stream with the dreaded Scurvy Dog value. Well, I'd have to leave this lobby, and it's kind of tricky to get players in lobby, so I'm just going to do it afterwards. Yeah. It's in my autosaves? Yeah, that's true. Let me just pull out the replay right now. Good point. All right. All hail the mighty. Scurvy Dogs are rising from the deep. All right, I got the replay. We're good. Yo, Tesla. Good luck, have fun. This is going to be great, man. Tesla with quite a run today, making it all the way to the grand finals here. Anticity against Tesla. The clash of the ages. Yes. I'm excited for this. What clan? Is Tesla in a clan? Does he have some team affiliation of sorts? Hey, Lich109. So Lich109 donated during the game. I said I would get to it afterwards. It says the dumbest defeat is still when Angrath died because Calgar clapped his hands together. I'm not joking. That happened. Yeah, that's classic stuff there. Oh, he's in ITO clan. Oh, okay, very cool. Anticity's been streaming for 5 hours. Yeah, that's pretty deep. I mean, that's normal for tournaments, to be honest. Like, tournaments go anywhere between like 4 to 8 hours, depending on how many people are in them. So, this one was a medium-sized tournament. I think we had close to 50 players. It wasn't like a big Chungus tournament, like 70 to 100, like we have sometimes. But it was still, pretty substantial. Is Queek viable? Queek is probably only good in like 1 or 2 matchups. I would say Queek is viable against dwarves. He's really good at killing foot characters. Basically, you want to bring Queek when you know your opponent is going to be bringing a foot lord. Aside from that, the other Skaven are all better, in my opinion. Malverde says he's also technically in Clan BBB. Okay, he's a drifter, huh? A renegade. He carves his own path. So Tesla is going with Chaos. Okay, Anticity is going Vampires and banning High Elves and Dwarves. Then we get Chaos. So we got Chaos against Coast. Pretty interesting. Chaos, I feel like, had a decent matchup here. It was pretty Coast favored before, but, things have changed. I'm curious to see. I hope we see the Dreadlord Sigvald. Yeah, Sigvald would be really exciting. I honestly wouldn't be opposed to picking Sigvald against Coast. He's really hard to snipe. And Vampire Coast players have a hard-on for Lord sniping, so that could be something. No, Tretch is never viable. Tretch is like, if you pick Tretch in a competitive game... Legion says he's not in BBB. They wish he was. Are all the clans fighting over Tesla right now, trying to get this new rising champion? Yeah, Tretch is never viable. If you're picking Tretch in multiplayer, you're basically like setting yourself up to lose. You may still win the game, but the reason why you won that game isn't because of Tretch. It's because of every other aspect in your army working well, Tretch is just absolute trash. Yeah, it's a shame. Everything was... I think pre-DLC, Vampire Coast struggled against Empire, Dwarves, and Wood Elves. I would say Wood Elves were kind of even, actually, pre-DLC, in my opinion. Maybe slightly Coast favored. Yeah. It depends. If you have Felcon playing Wood Elves with his rush style, I think it was kind of a different variable. But I actually feel pretty confident with Wood Elves against Coast now. You have the Spellsinger of High Magic for Tempest against Luther. You have like Orion rushes that are very strong with like a bunch of cheap cavalry. Yeah. Yeah, Craven Tail is just a meme. Guac saying Tretch into Henna main. Oh yeah. Is that did they lead you to to great victories in your past? I actually don't feel like Throt is OP. Guac. I would disagree with that. I don't know. I feel like nothing in this DLC is really broken. Like maybe Orion got a little bit too much physical resist, but like, it's like the Greenskin DLC with like how long the snares lasted. Oh my god. Like that there was power creep in the Greenskin DLC with Grom, hardcore. Then Vampire Coast on launch was absurdly broken. Like in this DLC, I don't think anything is really OP. Like I don't think anything is really busted. Yeah. Like Brood Horrors are good. I guess like I don't know. It's hard to say. Skaven are definitely really strong. They're much stronger now. But because of Wolf Rats though. Not because of Brood Horrors or Mutant Rat Ogres. It's because of Wolf Rats. Wolf Rats are like, are Wolf Rats. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited for the new Death Guard Codex. I've been fiending. Professor Pone. Did you just doom Felcon with some bad luck earlier? Oh my god. Guys, there's this really funny combo that our glorious mod here, I think it was, Wicked. So Wicked Z, of course, one of our very own glorious mods here in chat, who is also going to be starting his own YouTube channel soon. So when that's up to date, we'll make sure to let you know. He's going to be doing awesome testing videos with a very scientific approach. I'm very excited to see what he does. But Wicked showed me this combo where you can get a Skaven Warlord on a Brood Horror, okay? You use the Scroll of Lycos from the Eshin Assassin, or the Eshin Sorcerer, and then you use the Verminous Valor and Skitter Leap. and you can get a Brood Horror Skaven Warlord up to like 160 speed. It is so crazy. He just like blazes around the battlefield. Yeah. 3,500 mass monster with foot low cure stat. Oh, dude, foot low cure. Oh, man. Is that the new meta that I'm missing out on here? Wolfrats do beat... Yeah, I think Wolfrats beating, like, other Hound units is a little bit funky. But they also have terrible leadership, so they break, like, much faster. I think their leadership, base leadership's like 34 or something. It's pretty crazy. So the next DLC will be Skaven versus Beastmen. Oh, man. I think Skaven can take a break for a while. Oh, Hadries gets credit for putting you onto it. Okay, so Hadries was the one who pointed it out to Wicked. So Hadries gets credit for the glorious Skaven Warlords games. Hadries was the one when we were playing some games the other day mentioning how hyped he is for the Skaven Warlord to use the World's Edge armor and stuff. I can show you guys after the tournament's over, yeah. Alright guys, so for Anticity on his dreaded Vampire Coast, he's got Luther Harkin, who has got a cost increase, I think. Got some handguns up in the sky, secondary line of zombie mobs, and it looks like it's going to be basic handguns, bombers, some wolf rats. Whoa, what is this? What is this wild-ass pick here? Hold on. Oh, where is it? Is that a rare sighting? I feel like I'm like Steve Irwin, like finding some like rare creature. If I could do a good Steve Irwin impression, I would. There it is. A depth guard with pole arms. Look at this. So they got buffed. Dude. Depth guard pole arms. Okay. I will check the damage value of this game simply to see the depth guard with pole arms. It's happening. So remember, this is a best of 5 series between these two players. And for the Chaos Army, we got Chaos Marauders. Oh, the salacious one. He approaches Prince Sigvald with his... Oh, dude, he's all business. Look at this guy going. Yeah, Sigvald's here. Oh, I'm hyped. Front line's going to be Marauders, backed up by a Firecaster, Marauder Horseman, of course, to counter flying units and just, you know, give you a little bit of light skirmishing. Aspiring Champs. And look at this, a battle line of Chaos Warriors with Halberds. 3 of those bad boys. Holy shit. This is exciting. Okay, man. Tesla's got to be winning some fans here, bringing the mighty Prince Sigvald here in this game. Yeah. Hadri says, I like to think that the Warlord using Verminous Valor is just propelling his brood horror forward with massive rat farts. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, she's a real Sheila. Oh, man. I used to be able to do a really, like, terrible, campy Australian, like, accent, you know? Maybe I'll try and rehash it and bring it to you guys on one of the future streams. Yeah. Look at Professor Pone with the Sigvald emojis. Yes. If you guys have access to Sigvald emojis, do spam those. I think it's time. He deserves it. Alright, so now just Lord Sniping, really. Here, the Luther Harkin Deck Dropper Goon Squad is firing and trying to pick off the Firecaster. However, Chaos is pretty well prepared. Marauder Horsemen are getting some good fire there and have killed a couple of the Deck Droppers. Is Luther Harkin going to go in for the fight? I don't know if Chaos has enough to really protect him. It's a little bit hard to say. Ooh, a big Burning Head's going to be going down here. Definitely will probably roast those bombers. Magic D, thank you so much for the donation. Getting this game started with a huge hype train. Man, look at that Burning Head. One-shots the bombers. Oh, despite being nerfed, still really, really good there. And yeah, man, those bombers got taken out. So now the Chaos Infantry, I'm sure, is cackling with glee. Sigvald needs to move in as well. Sigvald's kind of sitting a little bit idle back here. He needs to move in. Also, Tesla has forgotten about some Marauder Horsemen here. So if he just moves all those guys up, he should be in relatively good shape. But right now, it looks like Luther Harkin probably will be able to snipe that Chaos Sorcerer. Although he's already, you know, almost paid for himself, more or less. Nice little fireball there against the Gunnery Wight, but the Chaos Sorcerer is going to be broken off. Yeah, it's a shame, too. These Marauder Horsemen might have been able to help out there. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how Sigvald's going to do, as well as the Aspiring Champs and the Halberds. Killing the Bombers out of the gates is definitely a really, really nice grab. But the Chaos Sorcerer is going to get hunted. The Sigvald emoji is so foul. Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, he's pushing in, but he's kind of standing idle. Tesla needs to get him moved in, yeah. Get that boy moving in, and honestly, I would probably start chasing the Vampire Fleet Captain or the Gunnery Wight. Man, look at the overcast damage on that Vampire Fleet Captain. He just nuked himself into another dimension. Brutal stuff. In the meantime, Marauder Horsemen are being chased down by some of the Direwolves and are trying to stabilize that Firecaster, but I don't think he's going to be coming back. Oh, Sigvald's going in, and he gets a huge blow on this Vampire Fleet Captain. Now, Vampire Coast losing Caster early is pretty painful. Heroic Killing Blow active. Sigvald is at 780. Oh no, Sigvald, what are you doing? Finish off that Caster. Oh no! That could be a game-losing mistake. Sigvald had the opportunity to one-shot that caster there with that last attack, but instead he moved over to the zombie pirate gunnery mobs, and now there's a chance that this caster could stabilize. Pretty disastrous, because killing the invocation and zombie summoning caster here would have been a huge, huge play. Granted, Tesla's caster has come back. The Chaos Sorcerer is back in business. Fireball going downtown does hit Luther Harkin. Man, that pains my soul. Oh, that vampire caster was so close to death. So close to death. Now, Luther Harkin is about to run out of ammo, which of course is a nerf. Luther Harkin used to have 50 shots, and now he's down to 30, which I think is very warranted. But alas, Sigvald, maybe he saw his reflection over here in his mirror guard and was a little bit occupied with that fight. Now, Luther Harkin's going to be going after Sigvald, and it probably won't do too much. Sigvald should be able to take that like a champion. Also, the Chaos Warriors with halberds are grinding and doing a relatively decent job. And yeah, the Firecaster is broken. It looks like some of the Scurvy Dogs did come in and attack again. Man, yeah, that was rough. I mean, I'm sure he was microing a bunch of other stuff there and just missed it, but yeah, that, like, now you can see the caster's healed up. Now Luther has healing again. Now Vampire Coast has more summons. It's like, that was the opportunity there to really, really finish off that caster. Damn shame. Well, at least we know Sigvald's been doing pretty well for himself. And now he's fighting against the Sirens, which is a little bit of a grindy fight. Chaos Warriors with halberds are fighting Death Guard polearms here. It looks like Death Guard polearms actually may have traded evenly with these guys. It's hard to tell. Let's see the gold value accrued on Death Guard polearms. Yeah, they've done okay, actually. They're still fighting, too. 1,100 gold value really isn't bad. It's still a very close game, honestly. If that Vampire Caster had died, I think Chaos would have been in a dominant position. Because then Luther wouldn't have healing. There would be no more summons. Now Luther's going to get a heal. He's going to get an invocation right now, probably. Look at this, though. Oh, man. The Gunnery White's almost dead. It was trapped amongst halberds for a long time. A halberd infantry line against Coast is a very interesting choice. Here in the back, we got some Marauder Horsemen pushing into the handguns and Chaos Infantry going in. And, normally Coast could probably snipe many of the Chaos Lords. Archeon could be sniped easy, but Sigvald is no easy prey. He is very, very tough to take down. And now Chaos is moving in, still has pretty good ammo too. Man, the Coast characters are so low. Look at this, negative 21 leadership. He needs to get all these horsemen and just pick off this Gunnery White before it can give more ammo to Luther. Also, the Fireball caster here for Tesla is back. Yeah, so that means fireballs, of course. A single fireball could probably snipe off. Yeah, look at that. There's another more powder. Fireball's coming in, though. Oh, it's going for Luther. Right in the face. Definitely should hit these characters, though. Although it looks like this Gunnery White probably is just going to die to crumbling. Chaos still has a bunch of halberds. I don't know if the Coast is going to be able to deal with them. Aspiring Champions are still here, which is kind of a cool countermeasure against the old boys. And Balance of Power is pulling into the favor of Chaos as Sigvald is slippery. And the Gunnery White is gone, so Luther Harkin has gotten the last of his replenishing ammo. And yeah, we got some Marauder Horsemen here who could probably finish off this Vampire Fleet Captain with some proper focus fire. Sigvald definitely wants to stay among halberds. He is kind of low right now, and he has a lot of room to heal. So I think really capitalizing on the healing potential is going to be big. Yeah, man, this game would be over if that Vampire Captain had been killed earlier. But Sigvald's going deep. Oh, a big breath attack right on Sigvald's face. Did so much damage. He's got 800 HP. Sigvald is very, very low right now. He's got to stay. He's got to stay with his halberds here. Because if Luther Harkin comes in for the kill, he has to pay the troll toll. Critical binding here on the Vampire Fleet Captain, 730-something HP. We got some Depth Guard with polearms coming in who are now crumbling. Got to be careful, though. Can't stay here too long. Those Marauder Horsemen should just pull back and use their range tools. And Sigvald just needs to delay this engagement for as long as possible. Just stand amongst your units. Just heal. Luther Harkin might go in for the kill here. It's hard to say. A couple minor misplays may have cost Chaos this game. It's going to be really, really close. Yeah, but the Mirror Guard have now gotten back here and some Chaos Infantry. Or Horsemen, it looks like. Yeah, it's going to be Marauder Horsemen. Depth Guard with polearms are very, very low. They're in critical binding, but they do have the hunger, so those bad boys are healing. Sigvald's leadership is crazy. He has like 100 base leadership now, so Sigvald is not going to break to these sniping attempts from Luther. It's just a shame, right? Like, if the Vampire Caster had been killed, there would have been healing. If the Gunnery White had been poked as it was near death's bed, there wouldn't have been extra ammo. And Luther would be out of ammo at this point, but Chaos might still pull it out. It's going to be really, really close. So we have a charge coming in from the Marauder Horsemen. It's probably going to be Luther Harkin holding against all of these guys, but Sigvald's insanely perfect leadership is holding. He's at 390 right now. Luther has 4 shots left. Sigvald's trying to juke, but definitely standing amongst your infantry might be better. I'm not quite sure if that would really matter. I don't know if the shield on Sigvald works against Luther either. Luther thinking about going in there. Sigvald's at 149, and the... oh, he's going in for it. Sigvald does get... oh, Sigvald's at 8 leadership, and down goes the Prince of Slaanesh. But is it going to be enough for the Vampire Coast here? The Vampire Fleet Captain is really, really low here. There's still a shit ton of halberds, too. We also have some aspiring champions. Yeah, nice little cycle charging here. Definitely probably want to get the Marauder Horsemen back and just use them as kind of a finisher unit. The problem is terror routes, because Chaos Warriors aren't immune to psychology, so Luther Harkin could rear charge them and break them. Aspiring champions are not immune to psychology either. So the deck dropper handguns are going down. The Vampire Fleet Captain is very low. Now it's being attacked by the halberds and Chaos Infantry. Luther Harkin coming in. I mean, a mass terror route could end the game for Chaos, but there's also a chance that Chaos might be able to hold on here. Yeah, you can see some of the Chaos Halberds are routing. Aspiring Champions, though, are giving a really good anchor. Yeah, definitely keeping the Marauder Horsemen back just in case you get a mass rout is also a very prudent decision. And now it's going to be Luther Harkin versus, yeah, Depth Guard with polearms. How many are left? They got to be crumbling, negative 34. And terror routes, you know, don't mean actual breaks. The Halberds are coming back in. Sigvald did some work, man. I think Chaos might get this. Like, no way Luther is going to be able to survive this Halberd blob. You just got to make sure not to pile in everything at once. Otherwise, there could be a mass terror route. You could just lose the game with all your units routing. But so keeping some of the halberds back, I think, could be pretty smart here. Yeah, aspiring champs are hitting too. Let's see what kind of damage everyone's been doing. You see, there's the breaks. You got to be careful not to. Yeah. Oh man, this is close. This is really close. Sigvald was good this game though. He was a beast. He could have killed that caster. You know. I don't know if charging in the horseman is a good call. Maybe so. Very, very low, though. Chaos is pulling ahead on the bounce of power. Yeah, cycle charging, I suppose, is fine. You just don't want to stand there too long. You don't want to get those, like, chain terror routes. Those can be really, really gross. Seeing Luther run out of ammo is weird. Oh, man! And Chaos is pulling it out! Look at the bounce of power! The halberd wall of Tesla with a very cool tech build. I love that build. I don't know if Luther is going to carry this, guys. The halberds are really poking him down, and also the aspiring champions are not breaking. They're holding very firm here. I guess because they're pretty healthy, so they don't really care too much about that. I mean, just regular terror routes, like, the units will come back. Like, the actual break is a bit of a problem, but... Yeah, Luther's down! And Sigvald and his Legion of Slanesh are able to defeat the Vampire Coast. Oh my god, what a game. Holy shit. I have to say, Tesla, despite a couple mistakes, played really well. He scrapped hard, man. All right, we're looking at the damage values. Sigvald, 1100, not bad. Not bad at all, considering he costs like barely more than that. Firecaster did fine. Aspiring Champs, look at this. 960 here. 1300, 906, and 1200. Man, the Chaos Halberds. That was a thing of beauty. Yeah, and also when the Lord died, the Aspiring Champions did give the Encouragement Aura to give extra leadership, which was quite cool. Yeah, the Halberds really were huge. The Horsemen did fine. Yeah, some of the Horsemen, man, look at this. 1300 and 1300 on these guys. And Luther Harkin, of course, 3000 plus. I mean, he's a monster. Depth Guard polearms paid for themselves. Check that out, guys. The Depth Guard polearms got 1600 gold value, so maybe there is something to that. It's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, they paid for themselves. Not bad at all. Handguns did more or less fine. Deck droppers did fine. You know, pretty good across the board. That was close. That was a close game. GG, well played. Shootout for... Oh, man. Shout out to the ITO Legion, so his clan, for that Chaos build. That Chaos build was really interesting. Yeah. 2 Pillar Bone for the next one. Chaos comes. All right. So let's update the scorecard. Tesla 1-0. So double ban here, then single for the rest of the best of 5. The Depth Guard polearms did pretty good. Yeah. It was weird. I mean, because they could defeat the Chaos Warriors pretty handedly, I would imagine. Aerocrastic in chat says, shout out to Legion, but what about me? Oh, Arrow, was that build partially inspired by you? And they're just not giving you the credit you deserve? How dare they? Alright, so a donation from Bubba's Big Blast during the game. Since Sigvald is being made a Demon Prince, now on the upcoming tabletop, should he have magic in Game 3? I don't know. It depends on how they want to, like, work Sigvald. Do they want to, like... I think they'll just keep him as he is and give him some new abilities. Yeah. Arrow coming in, dude. I love it. Yeah, that was a fun one. That army was awesome. All right. So Tesla's going to go Greenskins, banning dwarves, and I can't tell what a second ban is. I think he's saying, like, he's thinking, or... We are on a smallish map, though. My lovely wife is back, Lady Turin in the house. If you guys have been enjoying the... Oh, Anna, you just missed it. Hey, Sigvald was going crazy, and people were spamming the Sigvald emoji that you made. Imagine a lord whose death increases allied leadership, like a really hated lord. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Okay, so he's banning dwarves and Tomb Kings. And he's going Greenskins. Okay, so let's see what Anticity picks. I think, didn't we just see Anticity play Beastmen here? No, I think somebody played Beastmen against them. What is the best way to beat Death Star builds? Typically, like, it depends on what faction you're playing, Jesse Van Doom. If you're playing a faction with ranged assets and they go Death Star, you can just pick them apart. If you have to fight them in melee, like with vampire counts, typically blobbing them down with like zombies and chaff and then just cycle charging like the weak, like overextensions is a good way to do it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Turin, does Lady Turin have a favorite faction? Her favorite is probably... Her favorite character is Skarsnik, but her favorite faction would probably be Wood Elves, yeah. I would say. But she loves goblins too, though, so... Okay, we're going to get Lizards versus Greenskins. I think we saw this earlier. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Lizardmen versus the Greenskins. The Greenskins are pretty awesome for sure. Legion says credit to the build goes to Arrow, not me. Oh, all right. The truth is here. It did feel like an Arrow classic build. Just Sigvald valiantly leading the charge. Oh. All right. Looks good. So it begins. Yeah, goblins are pretty funny for sure. Skarsnik is a great character. He's really fun. Man, I just want some news on the old world from G-Dubs. I think they sent out like a newsletter in the beginning of December that said like, hey, we'll have some news for you in the new year. So I'm really excited for this crappy 2021 to 2020 to end and for us to get some old world action and all sorts of good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Sigvald is an unholy terror for sure. Evan Sherman, am I Sigvald? Well, sadly, he's probably one of the characters I maybe bear some No, he's got... Although, if you go and look at my Sigvald campaign on my channel, there's I had long hair and we straightened it and like put me on Sigvald's armor and actually was like, oh god, I kind of look like Sigvald there. Yeah, I might let my hair grow long again. I do miss it. Like the full Bible hair, just straight up going to the Old Testament, Yeah, it's pretty fun. Oh. We got Boba Fett in 2020. Yeah, my brother was talking about that last night. I actually haven't watched The Mandalorian yet. I'm currently watching Voyager, Star Trek. Like, I'm just trying to like power through all of the old Star Trek shows, like all the good ones. So I've watched Next Generation, I've watched Deep Space Nine, I'm watching Voyager, and I've seen Enterprise. But the only one I haven't finished is Voyager. I'm on like season 4 or 5 now, I think. So I'm pretty close. I probably won't watch the new Star Trek. Like, I saw one clip from the new Star Trek movies when they or the new Star Trek show, and it like I saw like how they depicted the Klingons, and it filled me with so much nerd rage. I felt like the old Simpsons character, like the comic book owner guy, just like being enraged. Like what they did to the Klingons just made me like instantly hate the show. Like no forgiveness. Like how they depict them, and I was just like, nope, can't watch this. Like no. Like Worf is a Klingon, all right? Like General, the general from Deep Space Nine, Martok, like Gowron, like all like their looks, like the new Klingons just triggered me so bad. Oh my god, there's the nerd rage coming out, dude. Yeah, Deep Space Nine is my favorite of all of them so far. Yeah. Voyager is Janeway, yeah. I like Voyager. I've become. It's not my favorite of the bunch. It's probably like third, I would say. Like so far for me, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, Voyager, and then Enterprise would be like my sequence. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, The Expanse is really good. The Expanse is really good. I love that show. Battlestar Galactica is another one. Like I love Battlestar Galactica. That's probably one of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time. Well, here, let me show you guys. Like, yeah, I mean, if you enjoy the new Star Trek stuff, nothing against you, man. I just couldn't, like, felt like such a betrayal. Okay. So Worf and DS9. While we're here, all right, let's just go on this like nerd tangent. Oh, perfect. Here's the comparison. Worf Trek. So I'm pulling it up here. Sorry, guys. I'm like a little primitive with technology. So this is what they did to the glorious Klingons, who are like some of my favorite characters. All right. So you can see on the left is like Worf, and that's him from Deep Space Nine. Like that's like the classic Klingon look to me. That was used from TNG and Deep Space Nine and Voyager. And then like they have this CGI monstrosity. Just oh god, look at it on the right. That's like what they did to. That's a Klingon in the new show. Oh my god, just end me, dude. Okay, anyways, I don't want to go on some huge nerd rant here, but I just like, can't stand it. No. Oh, dude, Garrick is like one of my favorite characters in Deep Space Nine. He's so good. Yeah. Garrick is great. Like, Sisko is amazing. Quark, Rom, Bashir, like, O'Brien. Like, all the characters in Deep Space Nine are so good. Yeah. How do you like... Oh, kill it with fire. You guys, like, what is that? That is, oh my god. And they're trying to, like, how could they expect any Legacy fan to, like, approve of that? I don't know. That is terrible. I know. Dude, he looks like you know how, like, in those, like, really shitty, like, generic Hollywood action movies, they have, like, these alien villains, like, that are just generic and shitty, and, like, they just look like putty villains from, like, the 90s Power Rangers. That's what that thing looks like. Oh, it's so bad. It's so freaking bad. Yeah, Gul Dukat was really fun. I didn't like the whole plot line with Dukat where he, like, becomes, like, Space Satan with, like, the prophets and stuff, but I really did like Dukat as a character, like, for a lot of the show. Yeah. Look up the blast door scene from Star Trek Discovery. They saved the ship from a torpedo by closing the door to the room it hit. No joking. Oh, interesting. Anyways, guys, I gotta stop. I gotta stop getting into it. Oh my god, it's just like, oh, okay, we're back to Warhammer. No more. Because I've gotten so invested in Star Trek, like, I love it. And then, like, to see, like, I'm like, oh, there's new shows. Hell yeah. And then to see that, I'm like, no, that is not the direction we go. No. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, look, the Klingons from the original show were pretty ridiculous from the 60s one. But I think, like, the 90s Klingons were really good. All right, guys. So here we are. Game 2. Currently, the mighty Tesla is up 1-0 here in this best of 5 series, going with Lizards. No, actually, Anticity. Sorry, Anticity is Lizards, but yeah, currently the Greenskins are up. His front line's going to be Saris, backed up with some Skink support. He's got Lord Mazda Mundi on the flank with some Cold One Spear Riders and a Pterodon Air Force to drop some rocks. For the Greenskins here, of Tesla, he's got Skarsnik, a Hag, a Spider, very similar to what we saw earlier in this matchup. Crimson Killis in the back. I think it was actually him playing, so it was probably the same build, but he didn't mix it up, man. He's all business. Yes. Dude, if you get me going on Star Trek rants about, like, the new stuff, oh my god, I just, like, oh, don't do it to me, dude. Don't do it to me. All right, guys, the battle is underway. The Coldland Riders taking a pretty aggressive charge here into the Orc Boys. Granted, I think that's a risky play. Mither and Spirit Leech are going down, and Anticity's Coldland Riders are being poked, but will they be rampaged is the question. Does not look like it. Skarsnik is going to opt not to use his rampage there, perhaps saving it for some of the bigger threats. Saurus Warriors have engaged Orc Boys in the front, looking pretty similar to what we saw earlier in this matchup, and if memory does serve, I believe Tesla was playing the Greenskins earlier in his matchup against Kark, so it is something we have indeed seen before. Skarsnik shanking away, Shield of the Old Ones going down from Big Chungus here. Mazdamundi has certainly been doing some good work. The Goblin Big Boss gets isolated, so you can see the Goblin Big Boss actually ended up kind of amongst the Skink Infantry with that Stegodon nearby, so there is a chance the Goblin Big Boss could be broken and punished here, but we will see. Pterodon's coming overhead. I would imagine some rock drops on the archers probably are about to happen, and Tesla does react pretty quickly here, actually pulling the Orc Airboys back, but is there going to be a rock drop coming in from Anticity's Pterodon Riders? I think so. Come on, move it over. Give us the rock drop. No, it looks like he does not go for the rock drop. Rather, he opts to push towards the back line to try and shut down these Airboys. Spirit Leech coming down from the giant River Troll Hag on those Pterodons. And it looks like the Cold One Spear Riders were able to get the Goblin Big Boss, which is a really nice play. Though it's not like a bunch of gold value, killing the Goblin Big Boss and or pushing him off is quite nice because it means there's not going to be any more they need stabbing. And now Mazdamundi, he's fighting Skarsnik, and in a vacuum, he probably would be able to defeat Skarsnik here. But he opts to pull away there, and probably prudently. I don't think Skarsnik is going to be able to keep up with him, and so you just leave Skarsnik in the dust here and run back towards the epicenter of the battle. Maybe use Mazdamundi to go after Crimson Killas, things like that. I think that could be really, really nice here. So, a very close scrap so far. Big Boss still being chased down by the Coldland Spear Riders. He's on foot, I believe, so it's going to take a little bit longer to probably kill him than it would if he were on a mount, due to the anti-large bonus of the Coldland Spear Riders. A nice banishment coming down from Mazdamundi right there. Kills a bunch of those Crimson Killas, but also kills some Saurus. Granted, I think that's a worthy trade, considering how elite and scary the Crimson Killas are. Now, Rampage going down on Mazdamundi, but he hasn't been brought below 80% health, which means he won't be afflicted with the Rampage. A lot of people actually don't know it works like that, but Rampage characters have to be at certain thresholds for them to actually be able to Rampage. So you have to get something below 80%. And yeah, Lord Mazdamundi turning about. Now it looks like he's going to be fighting the Arachnarok Queen, and all the cohort of Sotek and the Skink cohorts are doing battle with the Queen. Now, Arachnarok Queen does have relatively poor leadership. If Mazdamundi, for example, is able to break it, Anticity, of course, could grab his Pterodon Riders and chase it off the battlefield, and that probably would instantly be game blouses. Now, it looks like Anticity is pulling ahead in this battle. Balance of Power is reflecting that a little bit as the Greenskin Infantry are getting quite beat up. The Crimson Killas were actually defeated by the cohort of Sotek as well as a Saurus Warrior unit after being hit with Banishment. And Anticity did bring a Stegodon in this build, which gives him a lot more stopping power in both the monsters fight as well as the infantry fight. Granted, it's more of a specialist against infantry, it can still fight monsters. So the Giant River Troll Hag gets rammed by that Stegodon nice and good like, and now Mazdamundi's coming in, and the Hag is broken. And also, I don't know if there's going to be anything to chase it off. Yeah, the Hag will break, but the Greenskins seem to have dominance in the mobile game with all these Spider Riders, so I don't think he'll be able to follow up and chase down that Hag. Granted, the Hag not being in this battle is still pretty significant. So Spider does get back here. Skarsnik, the Warlord of 8 Peaks, fighting incredibly tough here in the pits, is going to be supporting, getting a couple shanks on Mazdamundi, but it looks like Mazdamundi is really healthy. Apotheosis also healing him up is very, very nice, and here you can see the Coldland Riders are cleaning up some of the Greenskin chaff here. What would actually probably be the nail in the coffin here in this game would be to get the Coldland Riders, get them behind the Spider and rear charge. That would do a ton of damage and also probably break its leadership if Mazdamundi were hitting it from the front, but we'll certainly see. So it looks like the Greenskins are opting to stay in this fight here, whereas the Lizards are disengaging and looking to try and snipe the Giant River Troll Hag, but Mazdamundi actually turns around and goes to do battle. But Mazdamundi is being shot in the back here by Orc Airboys, who don't have the worst AP values in the world. And the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers also lending some fire support, but I think Mazdamundi's too thick. Fermented Fungi is down, and even if it doesn't rampage him due to the HP threshold, he hasn't met the second tier, it would appear, it still will lower his melee defense pretty substantially. And if the Greenskins want any way back in this game, I think that Tesla is going to have to try and kill Mazdamundi. Maybe get Skarsnik in there and just hope that the RNG gods are with him, but a really nice Shield of the Old Ones will probably prevent that with some nice ward save, giving 22% ward save, and Tesla is going to be withdrawing from the game knowing that it is indeed over. So well played. It's kind of cool. We saw Tesla do this earlier. I think that was him playing, and he was able to win. But now, of course, we see the other side of the coin that it can be won by the Lizards, and that's always encouraging to see dynamic, matchups and things like that. So, all right. Wow, Mazda with 2,000 plus value. Saurus Warriors 800, 600, 600, and 600 more or less. Skink's doing great. good damage value on those guys. And the Stegodon with 800 value, Colden Rider's about 500. So yeah, Mazda Mundi, Saurus Warriors honestly really did great. And the Banishment was really sexy for Mazda Mundi too. Skarsnik didn't do bad, I guess. 500, yeah, not as much as the previous game. But he did get his buffs off, which was nice. Crimson Killers really didn't pay for themselves this time. You can see the Crimson Killers only got 679. So they really struggled in combat. The Banishment plus the Poison. The cohort of Sotek actually really 916 on those guys. They really performed super well. And that is pretty much it. Really the only noteworthy stuff. Well played. Anticity's on the board. Anticity's back on the menu, boys. All right, so let's go ahead and switch on over here. And get a map for these two fine gentlemen. Map set. Look, have fun. Single bands now. All right, and we'll just hang out and chat. We'll do it to it. Yeah, the Air Boys were shooting big targets, though. That's why they didn't really get too many kills. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my rant about Star Trek. It's just... I've gotten so attached to the series now, and like I was so excited for the future, and then just to see what it's become. Do you think with the new damage value stat we'll see any meta shifts? I don't think we'll see overall meta shifts, but Harvey, I think what we will see is going to be more micro level changes. So like fine-tuning armies a little bit more efficiently, I think. Yeah. I don't think it's going to shift the meta overall, but I think it will help you like fine-tune your armies. Yeah. Well, legit sniper, you're going to have to wait for someone to pick dwarves. Though Anticity is a dwarf player, we might see them here. Because if you go double bans in best of 5, you can kind of just like run out of factions to ban at some point. It becomes a little bit ridiculous, so. Is it dirty rat time? I don't know. Not sure. Not sure. Chest. Dobrze. Need anything?
No.
You're all good? Dobrze. Love you, sweetie. I know. For sure. For sure. Oh, yay. Lovely lady Turin stopping by. Can you guys recommend any good sci-fi books? Ooh, man, I read fantasy mostly, so I haven't read too many sci-fi books, but I'm sure chat can probably conjure up some for you. So we got Wood Elves and banning Empire for Anticity, and now we can see what Tesla's going to pick here. So we got a Wood Elf game. Satisfy the grudge. You might see some dwarves here from Tesla. Who knows? The Orville. I've heard good things about the Orville. I haven't seen it yet though, so maybe something to check out. What do I think about the new shooting out of the woods thing? I'm pretty sure it got reverted to an extent. Yeah, with like artillery, I'm not sure. What do you think about the new Wood Elf's Legendary Lord and multiplayer? I think Draika is very strong. She's a really good, cheap, cost-effective lord with very powerful summons. I think that the Sisters of Twilight are very average and very niche, maybe good in 2 matchups. And Orion is probably the best lord for Wood Elves. Zerthu is okay. He's very niche as well, kind of like the Sisters. Throt is definitely the winner of the Legendary Lords in the DLC in terms of being like competitively viable. He's good. You can make Throt good in a lot of matchups. The fact that he has heals, high mobility, and summons like makes him very good. So that would just be my 2 cents. Turin, not sure who asked, but armor. You found armor to be a fun read if you like Starship Troopers style stuff. Okay, right on, man. Yeah, it should be fun. Dune, Ender's Game, Ancillary Justice. Yeah, a lot of suggestions coming in from sci-fi novels. Yeah, Altered Carbon was... I actually saw the show. I haven't read the books, but I did enjoy the show. It was fun. Draika is very good. Draika is like my go-to. I didn't mind the Altered Carbon show. It wasn't like amazing, but I still enjoyed it. You know, like it had decent production value and was a pleasant experience. But yeah, I like it wasn't like, you know, there were times I cringed for sure during the show, but it was all right. So we got Wood Elves versus Bretonnia, which is not that bad of a matchup anymore. I think it's gotten a lot better for Woodies. You have some great options. Yeah, I haven't read the book, so I don't have any comparison. Yeah. I think like my favorite sci-fi shows of all time, now Star Trek, of course, Deep Space Nine. I really like Battlestar Galactica. Really like The Expanse. Those are like, you know, some S tier shows for me. Firefly was amazing. Oh man, I loved Firefly. Such a shame how it didn't really get more seasons. As far as like more haggard sci-fi shows, I like, there was a show called Dark Matter I kind of enjoyed. That was a fun one. You know, there's a whole bunch I could go through, but yeah. I will watch The Orville, yeah. I will watch it. I gotta finish Voyager first. I gotta see if the crew gets home. Of course they will, but yeah, I gotta check it out. Ariel is quite good. She's a hero, not a lord. That's why I didn't include her in the analysis. But Ariel is good. She's niche, a little bit expensive, but I'd say Ariel can be made to work in a lot of different matchups. The fact that she has a free heal, she's got Tempest, she's got, you know, a Soul Stealer, she's got a lot of good stuff. I think Ariel is good. Yeah, we got Wood Elves versus Bretonnia. You know, I haven't seen Babylon. Yeah, I haven't seen Babylon 5 yet. No, I've heard good things about that show, though. I do intend to watch it. My favorite? Oh, dude, I'm like, I got so attached to the crew of Deep Space Nine. I don't know. That might, like, I know if you look at other sci-fi shows, technically there's like probably more dynamic storylines and maybe better acting in some areas, but there's something about like Deep Space Nine, like, you know, all the characters, I just got so attached to them. So it might have to be DS9 for me right now. Yeah. But I really love The Expanse too. That was a great show. Yeah. Yeah, Voyager is definitely not my favorite of the bunch, but like I still feel like it has part of that old feel to it. You know, it kind of feels like, you know, like DS9 kind of feels like next generational. It still has that vibe about it. So I'm like, but I agree. I don't think it's as good as the other ones. If you like Star Trek, Babylon 5 is a must watch. Hey, thank you. Good to know. Yeah, Galactica's an interesting one. It has a pretty good soundtrack, actually. Yeah, the ending was something of sorts. Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Mr. Jones. Glad to hear that. Yeah, DS9 is probably got to be my favorite sci-fi show now. I just like, oh my god, there's so much. There's like, I like, you know, in these like ensemble shows, they'll have like episodes for all the characters. You know, on some shows they'll have like, you know, an episode about someone you don't like. You might want to skip it, but on DS9, I was like interested in every character. You know, like all the little Ferengi schemes and like Quark and Rom and, you know, Nog and all those guys. And yeah, it's just great. All right, so the players still working out their armies here. I'll be back in just a second, guys. Just gonna go get some water and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, we're back in business. The players are ready. Let the games begin. Let the games begin. Oh, man. The Grand Nagus is so much fun. He was also the actor from Princess Bride, the guy who played that character. Yeah. You didn't lose audio. No, I just went to go get some water. Yeah. You're all good. No, you guys should be fine. I'm here. Fear not. Alright, looks fine. All right, guys. So this is going to be interesting. New Wood Elves here against the Bretonnians, a matchup that was, historically speaking, not considered to be the best for the Wood Elves. So he's got double Hawk Rider up in the sky, and he does also have the Sisters of Twilight. Oh, hell yeah. I'm excited to see this. Of course, they do have the ranged single target shot as well as the multi-fire shot, much like a bolt thrower, so we'll see which one he decides to use and what he decides to target. As far as the rest of the army goes, double Deepwood Scout, War Dancers with Azrai Spears, stacked with Eternal Guard, and it looks like we got some Zoats in the back, backed up by a Branch Wraith as well. So we do have 2 free Earthbloods and a Flesh to Stone. Not free, of course, but they do come with the Zoats, and that's pretty much it. Very cool. I'm really eager to see how the Sisters actually do. Yeah. Oh god, is the Star Trek versus Star Wars debate happening in chat? Oh man, talk about the eternal conflict. Talk about the long war. So, when I was growing up as a kid, my dad and I used to watch Star Wars. Like, I started with Star Wars. We watched the original movies. I loved them. They were amazing. But as an adult, you know, when I got into Star Trek, I have to say, like, I've gotten more of an emotional response from Star Trek than I have from Star Wars. Granted, it's largely due to the episodic kind of structure of Star Trek, and you get to know the characters better than you do in Star Wars with, you know, only a couple movies here and there. Granted, there's an animated series, but I'm not going to get into it. That's a subject for a whole nother day. But yeah. Hey, Big Carman, USN, shout out to Turin and his amazing channel. US Navy members watching you over coffee right now. Hell yeah. Thank you guys for your service. Hope you're all doing well. I have a lot of friends who are in the Navy, actually, who joined right after high school. I graduated in 06, and yeah, a lot of my friends actually went to the military. Cheers, man. Appreciate you guys. So for the forces of the Bretonnians, we got a filthy mob of peasants in the front, surely unwashed. Wouldn't it be funny if the peasants got like a Nurgle's Rod ability and they just like smelled like shit and lowered the melee attack of nearby units? Anyways, men-at-arms, peasant archers in the back, and Knights of the Realm into the sunset, with some Grail Knights mixed in as well. So we do have some fairly elite Bretonnian cav. I'm really curious to see what Anticity is actually going to be trying to snipe with his Sisters of Twilight here. That's going to be an interesting thing to see. Oh no, the great Star Wars debate. Yeah. There are wizards in Star Trek to an extent. You do have you have Q, yeah, the Q continuum. Anyways, I gotta focus on this. You guys get me talking about Star Trek and Star Wars, and I'm just gonna not be able to focus on the game. So here we do have the Hawk Riders continuing to drop some bombardments, going after King Lewin, who has popped the Lion's Shield very quickly here, actually. Now, the Lion Shield does give magic and missile resist, which means that Deepwood Scouts, no, they're not using Swift Shiver Shards, which means they do not indeed do magic damage. So they just do basic damage. Sisters of Twilight just sitting at a very predatory stance over the Bretonnian Heavy Cavalry. Something that's very cool about Hawk Riders is Hawk Riders actually do AP in their melee attacks. But look at this. Anticity actually methodically going after the Peasant Archers. Yeah, look at that. Oh, brutal play. Those Peasant Archers get nailed by the Deepwood Scouts. And then these ones right here, the Sisters of Twilight, as well as the Hawk Riders, are able to butter the bread of these Peasant Bowmen a little bit. But King Lewin's going to be coming in to speak to the manager here and try and fend off the Hawk Riders. I almost wonder if going for like a big dive. So hear me out. You get all the Hawk Riders, you attack Lewin with the Sisters in single target shot. Then you use the Zoats to use Flesh to Stone on the Sisters and, you know, Earthblood. I feel like maybe they could have killed Lewin right there. Yeah, now you can see, I think Anticity is seeing this, that he could probably win this fight, but not if he just sends the Sisters in alone. Lewin will beat the shit out of those ladies for sure, so he needs to get away with those Sisters. A huge misplay here from Anticity. I think the principle is fine, but in the end, stayed a little bit too long. Okay, that wasn't too bad. He was able to get away without going below half health. So now the Bretonnian Heavy Cav are piling in. Some of the Deepwood Scouts do get partially compromised here. And the Zoats are going to be moving in, backed up by some Eternal Guard with shields. So the Bretonnian Heavy Cav should take some work. Zoats are really a new kind of X factor in this matchup. You know, wondering how effective the Zoats are going to be. Oh, look at this. The Hawk Rider's actually diving in. Man, Anticity's just playing balls to the wall here. Locking in these Grail Knights, but at what cost, right? So Sisters are a little bit endangered here with Lewin nearby. Lion Shield active once again. However, Grail Knight's certainly taking quite a bit of damage. The Zoats are really giving some nice follow-up, but the rest of the Bretonnian Legion is now going to be making its way across. We do have the Peasant Bowmen here, and a fair amount of Heavy Knights, Grail Knights, as well as Knights of the Realm up on the top side of the map. But I think the Wood Elves were able to get away with that. That was definitely quite nice. Yeah, look at this. The Hawk Riders doing some great work, and they were able to get away. That was the thing, right? Diving in the Hawk Riders like that was a bit of a liability, but the fact that Anticity was able to get back is Very nice. Sisters back up in the air with pretty good ammunition. Could fly around the flank and peasant down, focus down the peasant archers. All sorts of stuff like that. Hey, Big Car Man, thank you so much for the donation. That is a very generous one, bud. Stay safe out there, and thank you so much for that donation with the hippo with the backwards hat. That's a very 90s hippopotamus. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, and the Sisters of Twilight, once again, flying overhead, dropping some fat shots here on your boy King Lewin, but he does, of course, have healing and is quite durable here. But it looks like the Wood Elves are winning the early engagements. Of course, some of the Peasant Bowmen are being forced back, and the Sisters of Twilight are just being awesome here, man. But the Wood Elves have to make sure they don't get separated, and now suddenly there's a bit of a scary situation as the Deepwood Scouts of Anticity slightly exposed. However, a very good rotation from the Azrai Spears and the Internal Guard means that they should have ample buffering, and they should be able to force back the Knights of the Realm and give them a little bit of grief here, so we will see. Sisters of Twilight still flying away, able to kite Lewin with their 110 speed against his 100. They're a little bit quicker. And so far, none of the Deepwood Scouts have really been pounded too badly. Lewin going in for a gooning attempt, which is certainly not a bad idea considering the circumstances of this game. So he goes after the Branch Wraith, though he is surrounded by spears. Ooh, this is actually a little bit bad for Lewin. And with the new mass changes, it's going to be harder for him to push away. Granted, he found a weak kind of point in that formation, but you can see even a couple infantry are able to kind of hold him at bay for quite some time. But now, finally, a little bit of disaster for the Wood Elves. Everything was looking to go very well for them, but now a huge thunderous charge from the Bretonnian cavalry going balls deep in these archers. That is pure destruction. Deepwood Scouts are not equipped for melee combat, especially against Grail Knights. And they are probably both going to break and should be non-factors for the rest of this game, as an Earthblood is going to come down and heal the Bretonnian Knights. Up in the sky, the Sisters of Twilight are running for their lives, but they do have 360 shooting and are able to drop some 6 shots on King Lewin as he does pursue. And with that charge, the Wood Elves do start to fall behind on the game ever so slightly. Obviously, losing your 2 archer units in that sort of a fashion is quite painful. Zote's got to make sure they don't overextend. Grail Knights will beat Zote's hardcore in combat. Just hardcore. Hey, Big Car Man, thank you again. You're welcome. Yeah, cheers, dude. Appreciate it. Although a little bit of a misplay here from King Lewin, perhaps. He lands and is now fully surrounded by the Zote Beat Squad. These Turtle Ogre Beasts might be able to actually finish off Lewin. Oh, no! He was pulling ahead in that game. That game was looking like it was Bretonnia. But now if Lewin dies and the Sisters are still alive, oh, man. He'd be in some big trouble. Lewin's done. He is done. He's getting beaten down by these turtle people. Oh, man. 470, 499. Earthblood is active. It's keeping him afloat. He's very close to his healing cap, though. I don't see Lewin being much of a factor. And the king is down. And for the first time, the Wood Elves do pull ahead in the actual balance of power. Bretonnia was actually starting to edge it out. But losing, your full health Lewin like that is just a disaster. Because now the Sisters and the Zotes can have relative free range. There's also a shit ton of Azrai Spears there as well. Man, that was a really, really painful engagement. Bit of a disaster there, but, it happens to the best of us. It's very easy to get a little trigger happy with Lewin and those, like, Franz type characters and things like that. So the Zotes are now chasing down Grail Knights. I mean, they can keep running, but the thing about running from the Sisters of Twilight is every time you continue to run, you're just going to get buttered down by their archer fire. However, I don't think he has much of a choice because of the presence of the Azrai Spears, who are just hustling those ladies. Definitely don't skip leg day, and they got some serious speed. 46 speed, yeah, they're running. They're running quite quick. A couple Grail Knights are dragged down. You can see the Zotes are able to club them, and also the Glade Riders with spears are making their way back in, and should be able to chase down the Grail Knights. Yep, you can see they're going to get pushed back right here. And are they going? They are going. Yeah, they're shaking. Certainly getting stirred as well. I don't think there's any chance for Bretonnia at this point. I think there's too many Wood Elf infantry backed up by a Lord, also a caster. The Hawk Riders back here are able to chase down some of the Peasant Archers. Definitely quite nice. Takes a lot of pressure off the Zotes and some of those different units. But the Bretonnians, I think, had that game in the bag to an extent if they just had been a little bit more careful with Lewin. Easier said than done. I probably would have made the same mistake. But I think that was the straw, obviously, that broke the camel's back. Lewin was at full health, more or less, before that engagement. The Grail Knights had just killed the Archers, and you can see the Bretonnian army's relatively, not Bretonnian, but the Wood Elf army's relatively tattered, right? Azrai Spears don't want to be fighting chaff units. They'll certainly take some big casualties, but even still, even had Lewin survived, it still would have been a very close, contentious game, but I think the edge may have gone to Bretonnia here. But the Sisters of Twilight proving that they got some teeth in this matchup for sure. Accrued value, man, look at the Sisters. 2,600 gold worth. They cost, I think, around 1,800 to 2,200, I can't remember. So the Sisters really paid for themselves this game with their, sniping of Lewin and their Eagle presence. And that is that. Well played! Game 3 going to your boy Anticity in a very close match. Tesla playing great today, as is Anticity. And now we're moving in to the next match here in this best of 5 series. The next map is going to be River Amixon. All right. I like the mass changes. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's really good. I think it's great. Yeah, the sisters did really well that time. I wouldn't have thought that. You know, in my build against Bretonnia, I actually use Orion because I feel like he's a little bit stronger. Professor Pone Turin clearly drawing inspiration from Professor Pone's legendary Mass Eagle build. Yes, of course. I don't know where else he could have seen it. Yeah. Yeah, they've been nuking Grail Knights, also poked Lewin pretty well. Certainly got some good damage. It was an excellent match. Excellent match. The turtle dragons were quite good also. Yeah. Zotes are the goats, yeah. Bretonnia, it was just Lewin that lost the game, honestly. Bretonnia was in a pretty good position. It was just that one play. Yeah. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Tesla fought very valiantly. That was a great game. Do you think Sisters of Twilight will take Luther Harkin's spot as a top tier? No. Definitely not, Sipan. I think Sisters are a good, balanced lord. I don't think they're OP in any way. Luther Harkin was quite OP on launch. Yeah. The Goat Zotes, I know. It's a great game. So I'm curious about the picks and bans now. Oh, dude. It looks like Tesla's going Beastmen, and he's banning vampire counts. The Bray Herd is back. I think we'll probably see a Tomb Kings pick from Anticity. If he's good at Tomb Kings, I'm not sure. Turin ever missed the older Total War games? Shogun 2, yes. But honestly, I love Warhammer so much that like I don't miss them too much. But Shogun 2, I do miss elements of that. Like I really liked it. So we got Beastmen from Tesla. Anticity says BRB, so he shall be back in just a moment. No, I'm not Polish. I am American, and my wife is Polish. Yes. Yeah. Good times, my friends. So, man, it feels good to be back casting tournaments. Obviously, Everchosen was a lot of fun, but, you know, on Everchosen, I can't really hang out with you guys in chat in the same way. We have to, like, just, you know, hang out on the stream, and we're not supposed to, like, you know, interact in that way. There's something quite magical about hanging out in chat and just shooting the shit. Yeah, Orion and Draika, I think, are the big winners. Probably the best Wood Elf Lords. Yeah, I agree. Orion is really scary against Bretonnia because he can, like, kill the heavy cavalry. He can, you know, has good AoE against archers. He can kill Lewin in combat. Like, it's really scary. Vampire Coast versus Wood Elves in a range battle? It'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple really good builds there, for sure. Yeah. Is there anything you don't like about the new patch and DLC? So far, so good. There's one really, really stupid bug, though, that it's just like, oh my god. So, hear me out on this, guys. If you put Cetra the Imperishable in multiplayer on his Chariot of the Gods, he no longer counts as undead. He loses his undead trait. So that means he can be broken and terror routed. It's so haggard. So there's a current bug in multiplayer where Cetra on a Chariot doesn't count as undead. So this was pointed out to me. So he can now be terror routed. He can, like, be chased off the battlefield. It's so strange. Yeah. I could show you guys later, but, you know, it is what it is. Thoughts on Yoel Romero leaving the UFC? You know, I'm not too disappointed. Yoel's had a ton of shots at the title. And, you know, that fight he had against Israel Adesanya, like, I don't know why he was, like, what was going on with that fight. So I'm not too disappointed about it. Granted, I do like him as a fighter. I think Yoel Romero is awesome, but, you know, the dude's also in his 40s, you know. And MMA is a cruel sport to the older athletes, that's for sure. I don't think Zotes are OP against Bretonnia. They only have 60 armor, though they do have scaly skin. They can die. If you put a Zote up against a Grail Knight in open field, the Grail Knights will dumpster the Zotes. Yeah. Yeah, and he also still crumbles, yeah. Cetra now serves. He finally attained his goal of becoming mortal again. Anons, I'm not sure. I haven't practiced it too much. I'll need to test it out with the sisters. I suppose it depends on what you're shooting. Probably the spray fire mode might be better against like a multi-unit cav, but maybe the single shot against like things like Dragon Ogres and units like that. You know, the Mike Tyson fight? I was really, really impressed by Mike Tyson. I mean, look, okay, it's an exhibition fight. They're going to call it a draw just to save face for both fighters. But Mike Tyson dominated that fight, in my opinion. Roy Jones Jr. was like hugging him like every 5 seconds to escape being beaten. Mike Tyson actually looked really good for his age. I was very impressed with Mike Tyson in that fight. I would love to see him, go a little bit more all out, but I know it's an exhibition, so there were actually rules against like trying to knock out your opponent and go for the kill, which, so I understand, but come on. If you're going to put together a Mike Tyson fight, just let him go at it. Yeah, but I was very impressed by Mike. Roy Jones, looked fine also. Definitely looked a lot, yeah. But the thing is, Roy Jones was only stopped fighting like 4 years ago. Tyson's been off for like 15 years. Yeah. I wish it wasn't an exhibition. I would have loved to have actually seen like a real scrap, I love you, Turin. Are you doing an impression of UL with Michael Bisping? Oh, so funny. All right, so they're back. Yeah, look at this. Just like we predicted, a Tomb Kings pick. I'm really curious to see. This has been considered a pretty rough matchup for the Beastmen. So I'm surprised to see a Beastmen pick when he's down a game with the best of 5 on the line. Yeah. Tyson versus Logan Paul. Dude, Mike Tyson would destroy him. Yeah. Tyson looked great. Yeah. Tyson looked awesome. I'd love to see him fight in a non-exhibition fight. Where he's like allowed to just try and like headhunt. Because, yeah, Roy Jones Jr. was moving well. I mean, especially again for their age. And considering the amount of damage like Roy Jones has taken over his career, because he in his early career he didn't take a lot of damage, but obviously in some of his later fights he was KO'd and really put a lot of wear and tear on his body, and he did great. Roy Jones is an awesome fighter also. Yeah. Yeah. Tyson also seems more mentally balanced. Yeah, I know he has like a podcast and smokes a ton of weed now and things like that. So yeah. It's Iron Mike, man. I remember watching Iron Mike Tyson fight in the 90s with my dad when I was a little kid. Holy shit. Now, talk about hype fights. Oh my god. Whenever there was a Mike Tyson fight, Jesus. Yeah, Tyson didn't even look tired after the fight. Yeah. God, it's so funny watching Mike Tyson like on any interview. Whenever you see Mike Tyson on an interview, like you can always tell the interviewer's like a little bit, even nowadays, like is really nervous to like, he waits to see if Mike Tyson laughs at a joke first before he laughs, because oh my god, it's just like he's such an intimidating person, No, the exhibition was 8 2-minute rounds with Mike and Roy Jones. Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Samurai Warrior? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it was fun. Tyson's podcast is actually really funny. Yeah, I haven't listened to it, but all right, guys, back to some Warhammer. I am really, really curious to see how the Beastmen are going to beat the Tomb Kings here, especially with a player like Anticity at the helm. Granted, Tesla has proven he's up to the task today. He's had some really amazing games. So we got Morker the Shadowgave. We have a Bray Screamer. So Vile Tide and Bray Scream combo is pretty good for killing like Tomb Guard and Skeletons and Kepra Guard and things like that. So that's why you see the Bray Shaman of the Wild, which is quite cool. And on top of that, we got Gore Herds. We got Ungor Spearman Herd into the Sunset as well. Gore Herds will actually kill Skeleton Chaff very quickly. So I certainly like that. I think that's good. In the back, we got Triple Minotaur with Great Weapon. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Look at this shit. Oh, dude, so metal. I love the Tesla builds. As a matter of fact, I think we'll have to message Tesla to see if he wants to play Beastmen in our next faction war. It'd be cool to have a Beastmen main. We got Razor Gore Herds in the back, all 4 of those, and yeah, just a straight heavy metal, like, Beastmen build. Like, great weapons, pigs. You guys got it. And now for the forces here of Anticity's got Skeleton Horseman Archers, a very useful tool. Can counter skirmish Centaur throwing axes. Can also poke against the Minotaurs with great weapons. A lot of good stuff. So, yeah. Samurai Warrior says he just ended his head-to-head campaign against the Great Book of Grudges. Hell yeah, man. You raised some money for charity? Right on, dude. Sounds like a good time. How'd the campaign go? For the rest of the army, it's going to be Skeleton Warriors, secondary line of Nehekar Warriors. I'm curious to see how they'll trade. They should lose the Gores head-to-head, but might put a little bit more of a dent in those guys. Setra the Imperishable, more spears, some archers in the back, and more Nehekara horsemen. So just a very wide army. He's not even using his maximum amount of single entities. No Necrotechs either. It's going to be Setra and a Tomb Scorpion. Usually in this matchup you see, like, you know, a lot of Tomb King's monster abuse, but maybe going wide like this, I'm a little bit concerned actually for Anticity. I feel like the Beastmen army is pretty exceptional at killing, like, skeleton infantry with the Vile Tides and the Gore infantry. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a good one. I'm hyped for this matchup, guys. So let us know in chat. You rooting for the Beastmen or the Tomb Kings? If you have access to the emojis, of course, you can spam your faction there. But let us know in chat who you guys rooting for. Here they come. Ungor Spearman herds and Gore herds are going to be advancing on. Morker the Shadow Gave and the Ray Shaman, cackling wildly as they do advance, or mooing, or Minecraft mooing, whatever you guys... Man, I love that. It's so funny. Yeah, Nehekara Warriors are an interesting choice here. Definitely an interesting choice. Yeah, one of the more difficult aspects... Oh, what's going on here? Oh, man. Doing a little bit of cycle charging with the Skeleton Horseman archers. Anticity getting a little bit hog wild here. He might actually lose a couple archers in the process, but probably worth it, I suppose, considering the damage he got. So, of course, you can see the Minotaurs with Great Opens are being left in the back, and they'll be pulled up in support once the Skeleton Horseman archers are kind of buffered back. No mobility for the Beastmen, though. Just like a straight-up get in there and grind kind of build. Ooh, look at that! Oh, man, look at that Vile Tide coming in from that Bray Shaman. Holy shit! That did some serious damage to those Skeleton Horseman archers. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Here comes the Gore herds. Here comes the Ungor Spearman herds. The battle is upon us. The Minotaurs have now been pulled in, but the only concern is the Beastmen are taking some pretty brutal damage on the approach, but will they have enough kind of steam left in the tank to grind down all of the infantry? Because so far the Skeleton Horseman harass has been pretty impactful, actually. One of the Gore herds completely broken off, but Morker's in here. He will be summoning his Chaos Spawn relatively shortly, I'm sure. Kepragard? No, these are actually just Nehekara Warriors, but I'm curious to see what the Bray Shaman is going to be up to. Oh, the Spawn Summon used in the back on top of those Skeleton Warriors. A little bit danger close to the King Nikesha's Scorpion Legion, but we'll see how that unfolds. Now, Anticity needs to make sure he doesn't lose Setra early to kind of a misplay like this here. And now Setra's kind of being beaten down a little bit by some of the Minotaurs, but it looks like he is able to escape kind of through the eastern kind of area of this front line. But yeah, you know, taking some damage in the process. Minotaur's definitely buttered his bread a little bit. Now, the other Minotaur is going to be pushing into the Skeleton Warriors, soon to be attacking these guys. And in the back, the Razor Gore herds are being used like cavalry instead of a frontline unit like they often are, and are pushing into the back, trying to keep the Skeleton Archers from shooting into the Minotaurs, while they pretty much just go balls deep and hunt down Setra, but we'll see how that pans out. Minotaurs with Great Opens, clubbing down these Nehekara Warriors. The Gore herds definitely need to get embroiled in combat here and start cutting through some of the support units. The Chaos Spawn unit is dissipating rather quickly, but was summoned a little bit too close, I think, to those Skeleton Spears, but hard to say. Yeah, Minotaur's taking a lot of damage from the Skeleton Archers there that are still being functional, and some of the pigs are being forced through, so you can see some Razor Gores. Ooh, and a nice Vile Tide going down. That ability, you know, turning out to be pretty decent here. Getting some nice bump and grind right there. But the Minotaurs with Great Up and staying in combat here, a little bit of a mistake here, because there are a lot of Skeleton Spear supporting, so you can see a lot of micro damage going down on the Minotaurs. I think this is a mistake engagement that could probably cost the Beastmen the game. Leaving your Minotaurs there, your most valuable units, your only way to really kill the big monsters, and just letting them die to Skeleton Spears mostly, pretty painful for sure, but, you know, it's an easy mistake to make. Aside from that, though, it's going pretty well for the Beastmen. The Archer line is kind of compromised. The Bray Screams are doing a ton of damage. We still have 12 Minotaurs here and a fair amount of Razor Gores, so it's not like the Beastmen don't have other ways, but yeah, the Minotaurs up on the high ground did not need to die in that engagement. But there's still 5 here, still 9 here. Another nice Vile Tide going down. And a lot of people actually underestimate the Vile Tide, the lore passive. It gives you vigor, so the Beastmen army will be much less tired than the Tomb King's army in the final quarters of the game. So here comes the Minos with Great Opens, going to be potentially surrounding a Tomb Scorpion. That would be a really nice catch, which I think would be quite helpful for getting the Beastmen back in the game after that little bit of a rough play back there. But Setra's coming for blood. Ooh, the Minotaurs with Great Opens do get a nice charge on Setra, though. He's got to be careful. 4,300 HP. Minotaurs do get knocked down a little bit by that blast, but a couple attacks put him down to 3,800. It's almost 500 damage instantly. Very, very powerful units, but also glass cannons. Minotaurs with Great Opens really got to watch out for such engagements. But now they're going to be going after the Tomb Scorpion. We'll see if they can get the kill. Morker the Shadow Gave still mooing around the battlefield somewhere. It looks like he's right here, and the balance of power is still showing decent for the Beast people here, as the Tomb King's army is getting thinner and thinner, and a lot of the Minotaurs with Great Opens are probably going to be able to make their way back towards the battlefield. And the Archers are doing good damage against the Minotaurs, but it looks like the Tomb Scorpion should be crumbling and dying here. But he's got to be careful not to lose these Minotaurs. Like, he needs something that can kill Setra. Because Morker will get manhandled by Setra really bad in combat. Razorgores are okay against Setra, but the Minotaurs are really the hard carry unit here. So he needs to make sure he doesn't like lose these guys to any unnecessary play. Ooh, Razorgores are able to break through the skeletons now. And the Razorgores in the back line might be able to pile in and go after the Blessed Legion, but a really nice position shift here by Anticity. He pulls the Kepler Guard back and uses Setra to go clean up that back line. That's actually a really nice play. 10 Minotaurs here. We got 5 over here. Looks like the other ones may have been chased off into the Shadow Realm. I don't see them anywhere, but still a very, very close fight. Razorgores, a little bit of damage. Setra's down to 3,500, but for the most part, not too much. Nice Brave Scream right there. Does hit Nehekar Warriors and the Blessed Legion. Morker able to get his Pimp Claw and keep working on the King Nikesh's boys. And there's still a fair amount for both armies, honestly. Beastmen still showing to be in a dominating position in terms of the balance of power, and there's no summons on the battlefield, so apparently it's an accurate representation, but you really got to make sure these Minotaurs don't die. These are the breadwinners, because you'll see in a second that Setra can certainly do a lot of damage against Morker. However, with the new mass changes, Morker isn't going to be knocked over as much, so he might be able to respond and actually get some really, really good value back in there. So, Goreherds fighting the good fight against Skeleton Spearmen. Now going to be pulling back as Setra does pile in. Morker is still pretty healthy. I believe both spawn summons have been used, but oh, he needs to shut down these archers, man. The Blessed Legion has probably gotten so much value this game. But, you know, the problem with the Tomb Kings here, just like we talked about in the pregame, is the Beastmen had a lot of anti-infantry tools coming from the Bray Shaman here, which I'm very eager to look at the damage value on that character here. Minotaur is going for a charge on Setra, and he's rapidly running out of support. I mean, he's got some skeleton spears here. That's the one mistake the Beastmen could do to lose this game, is if they let their Minotaurs get, like, trapped in spears. Right now, they're totally fine. They're kind of just fighting some, you know, Nehekar horsemen and some chaffy infantry. Oh, Value City, nuking those skeleton spearmen with another Vile Tide. Oh, what a cool build. Not using manticores and different summons, like seeing the lore of the wild used in this way is a really, really refreshing gameplay in my opinion. And again, if this goes to Tesla here, we're going to be getting a rubber match for Game 5, and I feel like we've had such valiant performances today that even though I labeled this as a preseason tournament, I think this should just be qualifier number 1. Yeah, we'll see. Because, dude, the performances are so good. I mean, these players are fighting so hard, and I feel bad not giving them a spot in the ECL Grand Finals and potentially a shot at the Everchosen based on these performances. So we'll see. Yeah, we will see. All right. So Morker the Shadow Gave still going. Minotaur's coming back in, but, like, Tomb Kings are rapidly running out of ground support. And Setra, when surrounded by all these pigs and spears, and even Morker's Pimp Claw will certainly have some problems. Kepler Guard are fighting pretty hard here. Yeah, look at that. Minotaur's charging back in. Bray Shaman is still somewhat healthy as well. Morker probably going after Setra. It's a little bit hard to tell here. Kepler Guard are going to be a little bit of a problem. I don't know if the Beastmen have has enough magic to drop another spell here. And look at that, Setra just punting that character around as Morker just kind of waddles after him. It's a really close game, guys. This one really could go either way. Beastmen are a little bit ahead, but it's certainly, you know, like I said, could go any direction. Where are those Minotaurs going? Yeah, definitely killing the Beastmen, the mobility of the Tomb Kings could be a high value play. Maybe get all your Minotaurs and go after the Nehekar Horsemen here. A charge coming in from the Minotaurs here. We got 8 of them piling in and smashing on the Kepler Guard, but they do have the incantation of Cursed Blades, so those guys are going to be pretty tough to kill. And the battle continues to rage on, man. Skeleton Spearmen here are crumbling down, so they're going to be gone in about 10 seconds because of the 10 HP per second. Morker trying to get his Pimp Claw and still working on Setra the Imperishable. Morker has a very disproportionate amount of value on the balance of power meter, so sometimes it can be deceiving, and the Beastmen can feel like they're ahead, but in reality it's just because of Morker, and it's not the actual case. So if we zoom out here, you can see there's some Goreherds coming in. Morker still working on Kepler Guard, but the Minotaurs with Grey Weapons are getting really, really low, and the Nehekar Horsemen are still just reaving around the battlefield, causing a ton of drama. And yeah, these Tomb Kings infantry just won't break, man. The Goreherds, if the Goreherds get a proper charge here on Kepler Guard, that could actually do some really substantial damage. But let's see where they're going to engage. Yeah, it looks like Setra just routes them off. Minotaurs do charge in, but now they're unsupported. Is there some, like, Beastmen on the battlefield I'm not aware of here? I feel like... I guess it's just Morker being Morker. Beastmen, like, always have... You know, always have it. Yeah, we had a lot of people join today, though, Jason. It was still a big tournament. Tomb King's probably going to win it. I think Morker is just going to probably be bogged down by the Kepler Guard here. Unless, like, something comes back, but I don't think so. Nehekar Horsemen probably going to be able to chase off any threats. And it just goes to show that in the beginning, that mistake with the Minotaurs, right? Like, could have cost him the game here. Oh, look at this. Some Razorgores have actually come back here. Very cautious engagement here from Tesla. He's, like, trying to take it. Now he's going to be charging into Setra, doing a little bit of damage. Setra takes, 100 damage here and there. But aside from that, I don't think Beastmen have anything left. Yeah, I'm looking around. Don't see anything for the Beastmen. The Brayherd definitely looking very, very naked here. Morker, could he carry this? I don't think so. Maybe if Kepragard weren't here with the new changes to the mass, he might be able to fight Cetra. But Cetra doing fire damage with the Blessed Blade. Pretty scary for sure against this boar, bear, pig thing. And he's got a bonus for his infantry too. Yeah, that's quite terrifying. 41 models left. Morker still pimp clawing. No Beastmen to be seen anywhere on the battlefield. I think over here the closest Beastmen is these Goreherds on the other side of the map. And here comes Morker the Shadow Cave. Oh, he gets breathed on nice and good like. The balance power for the first time of the game does pull into the favor here of the Tomb Kings. Man, what an absolute scrap these players had. An amazing series. Went to game 4. Always nice to see a series be back and forth and really contested. Also, mind you, this is a bad matchup for Beastmen. Many people consider it to be. And Tesla picked into it in a way and was able to do well, you know, nonetheless. Nonetheless. And there you have it. Anticity is going to be the winner of today's preseason. We will see if we decide to make it a qualifier, but I think having it be a preseason practice tournament's good and all. But I don't know. I'll think about it. But nonetheless, Anticity is going to be winning the prize today. So he'll be getting the cash prize sent directly to his PayPal, showing that he's certainly got some chops and he's going to be a contender for future competitions. Hell to the yes. Morker is basically a man, bear, pig. Yes. That was an awesome game, though. You know, what I really liked was the Beastmen Viletide play. Let's see the damage value. Yeah, 1,700 gold on that caster. Not bad. Morker did decent. Minotaurs 1,400, 1,000, and 700. So at least all the Minotaurs did pretty well for themselves. All Beastmen are man, bear, pig. Yeah, not bad. Razor Gores did decent. Ungors or Gores in the front line did okay. Definitely not bad. Cetra, of course, hard carried. Kepragard must have done well too. 1,400 gold on that. And Tomb Scorpion didn't do too hot. Look at the Tomb Scorpion. Holy shit. Only 269. So very well played. Congratulations to Anticity. He's bringing back the multiplayer with a vengeance, winning the series. I think it was 1, 1, 1, and then 1. Yeah, that's fine like that. So 3-1 series. So we can go ahead and switch on over to the bracket here and show you guys what it's looking like. Morker was clawing through infantry for quite some time. Okay, it's like trying to verify, but it's like super laggy. Come on, you can do it. Oh, come on, give it to us. Yeah, okay. Looks like challenge is just like lagging. But anyways, if we go to the web browser, you guys are going to see here. So this is the grand finals. So Anticity was able to win with 3-1. So the players will be reporting their scores here. And yeah, we'll go look at the doggo value from that game earlier. We'll do that before we go. Carrot Shell, thank you for the donation. So if you guys want to stick around for a little bit, I'm going to show you guys some funky things that were pointed out to me by Hadries and Wicked. It'll be pretty funny. So Anticity was able to win in the grand finals. He fought Kark. He fought Void Laws, who of course was able to defeat Evenstar and Ever Chosen Champ. He fought Iron General, like a really tough run all the way across the board. He had to fight Loopy as well, who's a really solid tournament player. Yeah, amazing play across the board. Amazing play. All right, so now we can load in. And let's go look at the Scurvy Dog value, because I know a lot of you guys wanted to see that. So we're going to go to the autosave here. Here we go. No? Yes. Yes. It was a big tournament. Yeah, I know. It was like pretty thick. I mean, this is normal though. Like most tournaments we do here have like between 40 to like 80 people, depending on like what day. So I made the mistake today of accidentally having mine on the same day as my son Herbert Walker's. I usually try and avoid that, and so we can like, you know, players can, you know, play in both tournaments, but I just totally spaced out. But normally we'll do it on different days and the tournaments will be bigger. So we're just going to fast forward through this game and just sit here and chat. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about like multiplayer stuff, how to get involved, if one of the mods in chat could drop a link to the Discord, that would be greatly appreciated as well. These tournaments are open, so anyone can sign up. There's no conditions. Obviously, your first couple times, you might have some problems. You might get karate chopped here and there, but dogs didn't get as much value as you'd expect. We'll see. I think the Scurvy Dogs probably each got, like, my wager would be like 1,000 gold each. I think around 1,000, like, total damage, although I could be wrong. So we're just fast forwarding through the game here. It'll take a couple minutes because it was a long game, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, anyone can open Galahad. Yeah, completely. And if nobody drops a Discord link in this time, I'll drop one at the end of the stream, and then you can get in there. So I have 2 Discords. I have one that I run with Italian Spartacus, which is more for general gaming and campaign and various games like Bannerlord and different things like that. But I run a second Discord, which is focused explicitly on Total War Warhammer multiplayer and Total War Warhammer in general. So that's the one that I run my tournaments out of. So some of you guys may be in both of those, but that's generally how it works. Yeah, I'm guessing 1,000 gold each on the doggos. Like they're soloing bolt throwers back here. That alone is like 500 gold, right? Although it looks like they moved on pretty quickly from that one and didn't quite finish it off. Then they're eating shades here. Like, you guys can see, it's just a ton of value. Turn out of curiosity, what's the average age of players? Total War has an older demographic of players. I would probably say mid-20s. Mid-20s to like early 30s. Yeah, it's like probably the average age in this game. Oh my god, a fast forward tourney. Jesus. That would be so annoying to commentate, though. Look at the scurvy dogs. Just this game was crazy. Yeah, and then we have like the final hold here. This is a really good one. Dark Elves almost had this. They almost had this game. He actually heals his dogs. I don't blame him, dude. Those things were just those doggos. Those were the goodest of boys, Yeah, and then it looked like the Druki were going to come back here in this game. Yeah, look at this. The dog's eating more shades. Like, shades are an expensive unit. That's got to be some big value. And then, like, they come in here and they, like, eat the other shades. I don't want to look at the value right now to spoil it. How do you recommend learning to start multiplayer? Yeah, I would honestly pick 3 factions. Like, get really proficient at 3 factions. Watch these tournaments. Look at the builds players bring, and you can emulate them. For example, if you want to play Beastmen, look at the builds that Tesla brought today and, like, use those same builds or add a little bit of, variance to them depending on your playstyle. But that's a really good way to do it. But then again, micro becomes the next thing, and you need to do that. So... all right. Here we go. Let's see the dog value. 1,300 gold on this good boy. That's amazing. And then the other one, only 1,000. Yeah, so my guess was more or less correct. 1,000, 1,100, and 1,300 here. Noctilus did pretty well too, 1,100. But really the doggos were the best boys, and they carried that game. I mean, they cost 500, so they more than doubled their value. But the shades for Kark in that game actually did really good too. 600, 409, 1,300, 1,000. Not bad at all. If he had protected his bolt throwers, I think Kark would have won that game. Alright guys, we got one more funny thing to show you before we call it a day. So, here we go. Yeah. You guys ready for this? Ready for this Benny Hilling? Let's do Summer Song, it's fine. Okay. So I got... no, that's the wrong one. You need to get the Warlord. You get him on the Brood Horror. You have Verminous Valor. Nothing else really matters there. And you get the World's Edge Armor too. We need to get the Scroll of Lycos on the caster, Neshin Sorcerer. Is there any other way to make him faster in this matchup? Like any lore passives? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so we have the Scroll, we have Skitter Leap, we have Verminous Valor. Let's show you guys. We ever make a lore-friendly competition? Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I think someday we'll do, like, once we get more factions, we'll do, like, a Grand Alliances tournament where, like, there's different teams of players and, like, they fight. Like, Dwarves, Empire, Bretonia fights together. Like, all the Elven Alliance fights together kind of thing. All right, so this is something that Hadries and Wicked were showing me earlier, which I didn't know about, but check this shit out. It's so funny. So you got a Broodor, right? This bad boy's rocking 95 speed. You get him on his mount. First things first, you're going to want to cast the Skitter Leap. And then once that's done, you can go ahead and use the Scroll. And then you can pop Verminous Valor. And check out the speed on this guy right now. His speed is 164. Look at him going, dude. It's so fast, 164 speed, and he just, like, darts across the battlefield. Like, dude, there's no way anyone could hit you with this speed. It's just, like, 164. And it's really, like, even when one wears off, he's still at 141. How funny is that shit? And, like, what's really cool about these guys, too, is another fun combo that Hadries pointed out with the Warlord was you can go with the Armor of Darkness with this lore, and then you can use the World's Edge Armor. And now look at the armor on this. Look at the armor on this Brood Horror. Look at this shit. 180 armor Brood Horror, dude. And it lasts a long time. It's like a full minute buff. So you can just get this raid boss Warlord on a with 180 armor and like 160 speed, like just the Terminator. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show you guys some of those funny little things. I'm really eager to see somebody like actually try and do this in a game. Like have some Brood Horror just going crazy, running around. Sonic the Horror Hog. Yeah. I thought it was fast forward. Oh my god, you guys want to... Oh, well, I don't have the scroll anymore, so... But yeah, like you can even just Skitter Leap in Verminous Valor, right? So you could do like Skitter Leap and then Verminous Valor, and suddenly you're at 141. And if you fast forward, it's just like, look at this. look at the rat on fast forward. Holy shit. Oh my god, it's so fast. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. I thought that was just some funny stuff to end the stream on. All right, guys, big congratulations to Anticity. He's our champ. He's going to be receiving the cash prize for today's tournament. And a really good way to start the ECL with this nice preseason tournament. We will be starting the official ECL either next week or the week after. Because Faction War is going to be one of those weekends. I just have to see when that's going to happen. So you guys stay tuned for that. Anyways, big congratulations again to our champion of the day, Anticity. A glorious tournament win for him. We had some serious competition in today's tournament. We had the ever-chosen champion, Fistek, in today's tournament. We had like 3 or 4 ever-chosen players, and Anticity was able to make it to the grand finals and win. So big props to him. Thanks again to the mods for helping out. As always, you guys are aces. Couldn't do it without you guys. And to all of you who donated, man, super generous. Carrot Shell, Kratikin. Oh, he said something. Great tournament. And Kratikin donated. The trees were roused to wrath and took out the former power on your street. Sorry to hear that, man, but glad you're able to make the stream. To Big Carmen, thank you to the boys in the U.S. Navy for your generous donation there. Lich 109, boys and girls. Old Liver Rivers. Oh, sorry I missed your donation there, bud. Oh, man, there was a couple I missed. Bubba's Big Blast, Magic D, Lich 109, Lucius the Eternal, the Melee Slon, Mr. Pig, and Ruben Bunscoke. Thank you guys so much. Really means a lot. All right, I'm going to go hang out with my smoking hot wife. Thank you guys all so much for joining, and we will see you guys on the other side. Take care.